Welcome to the Reel Study with your hosts, Mr. Snitbits.
I was pleasantly surprised.
Black Girl Marvel.
I cried laughing. That was hilarious.
Tyler the Filmmaker.
It's like so much depth. It's like nowadays it's, you got A shot, B shot.
All the movie things.
There's some great wide shots in this.
Janine DeBean.
Each other, they just kind of look like they were having fun and doing their own.
Good evening and welcome to The Reel Study. My name is Mr. Snitbits, and as always with me tonight, I've got Black Girl Marvel, I've got All the Movie Things, and Janine DeBean. We are having two special guests this evening. The two co-hosts of the No More Late Fees podcast will be joining us as we discuss two rom-coms, one from the 90s and one from the 2000s, My Best Friend's Wedding and The Holiday. And we will get into those here in a few minutes. Next week, we will be doing a makeup episode for Krampus and Black Christmas, since we didn't get to do our horror Christmas episode, and we still want to talk about those movies. So we will be doing that. That said, we are going to move over to the main wall, and Law has a social media announcement for us.
Hello, people in the world that are watching us right now. Thank you for being here. Make sure you follow us on all social media. We are available on Blue Sky and IG. It's up there for you guys to see on YouTube right now. Make sure you go ahead and hit that bell so you know that when we pop up and have our shows, and we have some other things in the works as well that we'll be putting out. So make sure you hit that bell so you'll be notified when our awesome stuff drops. Join us on all social media so you can have conversations with us. We also have a Discord so you can come in, be a real student. Maybe you can suggest a movie for us to watch. Maybe we won't veto it because we don't do that ever, even though we have the power. But we just love watching films, so we're just there. So come in, join us. If you're listening to us on any podcast channel, whether that's like Podcast Republic or Apple, Google, or anywhere where you listen to podcasts, give us 5 stars. Or, whatever stars you want to get. But I think we deserve 5 at least, 4 at the minimum. And make sure you leave a comment. That helps push us over everything. And the algorithms get people to see us. Make sure you share us everywhere. These are free ways, okay, to help us grow as a podcast. We want to thank you so much for being here. Back to you, Mr. Smith.
They're also highways. I'm so sorry. That's terrible.
And byways.
Tyler hasn't been here, so some puns had to be thrown. We do have two guests that are joining us. We have Danielle and Jackie from the No More Late Fees podcast. If you have not already followed them, please go do that.
Please follow them. Awesome content.
Absolutely. Right? They are two ex-Blockbuster employees, because all Blockbuster employees are ex unless you live in Bend, Oregon. And they have just made it their goal to make that experience come back to life again over the airwaves for everybody. Welcome, Danielle and Jackie. And I want to start with Danielle. Can you tell us about No More Late Fees podcast and what you guys do?
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you so much to having us both on. So No More Late Fees. If you love the late 90s and early 2000s, then our podcast is the perfect fit. We talk about our experiences working at Blockbuster. We talk about movies from 1995 to 2005. That's our sweet spot. And we have a rating system where we kind of mixed it with our Blockbuster lore. So we have would buy it again, 5-day rental, 2-day rental, and same-day rental being the worst. So every episode we start off with what was our Y2K rating? How did we feel about this when we first saw the movie? And then we do another ranking of after rewatching the movie. So it's very interesting to see how many of those movies do not hold up anymore and the nostalgia wears off. So yeah.
That's fair. Jackie, the other half of the No Late Fees podcast. Did you guys work together at the same Blockbuster, or did you guys just happen to be Blockbuster employees that met each other through online purposes?
No, we have been best friends since 10th grade. And so when Danielle was home for winter and summer breaks from college, I got her a job at Blockbuster. At first, we didn't work at the same store. Eventually, we did, and I was her manager. And It was
And nothing got done.
it was stressful at times. We were very efficient workers. It was just Danielle didn't really tolerate anything from the customers. So I just tried to busy myself
Yeah.
with reshelving and stuff
Yeah.
because we worked in Boca, and so the clientele there could be very particular.
Okay. All right. I
Yeah.
like that. I
Um,
love your rating system. We
Yeah.
do a more classic rating system, but the comparison rating, we have done that on the Real Study quite a few times. Where what did your kid self think versus your adult self?
yeah.
Because
Mhm.
there is a distinct difference. That nostalgia can creep up and bite you, which is
Sometimes you like it more.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
We
Makes you
found
a
that.
movie
you know.
recently where we thought it was not going to hold up at all. We were dreading doing it, and then we were like, "This is still a would buy." Like, there
Nice.
are some problematic things in it that we need to
Mhm.
acknowledge, but other than that, like, it
Yeah.
was good.
You find that too.
And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then sometimes we dig our heels,
Yes,
and there are movies that are god awful bad.
yes.
But we're like, I love it. I
You
don't see
defend them.
anything
I love
wrong with
it.
it.
I'm almost certain everyone on this panel has a few of those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Not me.
Can we call them guilty
Not at all.
pleasures now? I think that's what we call them.
Mm-mm,
I
not
don't even like
me.
calling them guilty pleasures. I'm just like, nah.
They're
I
just
feel
No
pleasures.
guilt.
guilty at
Yeah.
all.
I feel
It's
like
no
they're
guilt.
just
That's
pleasures.
me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, welcome. And we, of course, are going to get into the two movies, and we'll talk about those here in a little bit. But before we do that, we have our Reel Roundup that we're going to get into first. And why don't we start with Janine? Janine, you watched the new animated series James Gunn has produced for the DCU, which is
Yes.
the Creature Commandos. Tell us what you think.
Yeah. Which is
Uh,
canon. too,
Yes.
It
For
is.
the whole DCU. So yeah.
And really interesting that he cast voice actors that could also go on and play the characters in live
Yes.
action.
I love
So
that.
I like the idea of that.
Mhm.
So yeah, this was one I just had on my list, but I hadn't gotten to. So yesterday I took the day and ended up really delving into it. And I really enjoyed it because I saw that it had like a really good tomato a meter reading that people were saying, this is a good kickoff to things to see what his universe is going to look like. But I was hearing a lot of kind of lukewarm reception from people who had seen it, saying that it was just okay. But I really enjoyed it. I thought the storytelling was really well handled because we kind of have our through line story that we're following each episode, but then each episode takes a moment to take something that's happening with one of the characters in the present and flash back to their past. So that's how we get their backstory of each character as we go through. So I really liked the structure of the storytelling. The characters are really fun. I kind of ended up looking at the voice actors and saying, yeah, I could really see them as these characters once we kind of maybe get into a live action thing with them. And it was a lot of fun. So, and I love the animation style as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I did catch a couple episodes myself, so I can attest to your review. It is good. It's worth watching. It's not the kind of simple stuff they've been doing with the previous DC animated stuff. It's kind of tapered down over the last few years, where they're just doing the same stories over and over again.
Yeah.
So Brian, you got to see Baby Girl, Nicole Kidman, A24.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Yeah. I thought it was pretty great. Walking in, I mean, there really was no like. It was kind of. I mean, it met my expectations. Like there wasn't anything that the marketing didn't really like lead you astray from. I think you have to kind of go into this film with a more like open mind and like maybe a little more emotionally like mature. I think some people would walk into this movie and they did, not really expecting to see some of the things that they're going to see, or the scenarios that are in this. So like, I mean, it's about, this powerful CEO, Nicole Kidman, and she has this great family life, she has a great husband, Antonio Banderas, and, she's kind of like always in this leadership, decision-making, high stress demand kind of position in life every day. I mean, we even see her still like doing like household things too, like making dinners or breakfast, and she has 2 daughters, and so there's all this whole full life, but there's an aspect of her life that she's missing out on, and she kind of just wants to like let go and like have someone else take control. And so this intern comes along, and she is very drawn to him, but he also like plays into that and is able to pick up on what she kind of
Yeah,
desires.
he's kind of an
needs.
empath. Yeah, and
Yeah,
reads.
exactly. Yeah, very much so. Yeah, and they're both kind of figuring it out too,
Mhm.
you know, a little bit. And eventually she kind of just like fully gives in, you know. And it's not, I mean, there's it raises a lot of questions too. It's like, is she a bad person for doing this? Is she not? Like, is there like, I mean, there's all these things because she's in this marriage, and she, you know, and depending on what your perspective is of, you know, monogamy or non-monogamy, or like all these other kind of things come up for you. But I will say, like, the performances, like Nicole Kidman, I've never seen her like this.
Mhm.
Like it,
Interesting.
yeah, it is. It's amazing. Like what she is
I
able
love
to
that for her.
do. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like so
She's
great.
been
at
in the
it.
game for so long. She could
Yeah.
easily get stagnated and be like, okay,
Yes. Right.
girl, sit down, take a seat. But
Yeah.
the fact that she can keep elevating her craft, I love that.
Oh my
for
God.
her.
Yeah. I mean, the range in this film alone for this in this role is just, it's like it covers
Yeah.
every facet of it. I mean,
Her being this
she's
powerful person, and then in moments she's really kind of nervous and
super
insecure.
vulnerable and like, yeah, and
Yeah.
like shy and like, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
love that
it's
because we all women get like that in the face of something new and exciting.
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah.
Especially if you're like focused on work. That's all you focus on. You have
Uh-huh.
nothing else outside of that. You're used to being the boss, and for somebody else to come in and boss you around, baby.
Yeah. Right. That's the thing. So I'm glad you said that, because like I think a lot of people
Sorry.
don't understand that aspect.
Yeah, it's like,
You know
why
what I
would you
mean?
want
Of
to
like,
relinquish power as a powerful
yes,
woman? It
but
looks bad on women, but it's not a broad woman story. It's this particular woman's story.
The
exactly.
woman,
Yeah.
right?
And the
Right.
thing is too, it's like this isn't like a one off thing. There's plenty of other women that very much are drawn to that kind of thing,
Yeah.
you know, and like,
Mhm.
And
yeah, it's a
maybe are
whole
scared to say that or give in to
right,
that.
exactly,
You know,
yeah.
talk
And
to
so
their
They be
I
partner
think,
about that.
tired.
yeah,
I
I
Corporate
think we do
women
need
be
to have more
tired.
films like this,
Okay, they
though.
want something. They want to be able to like sit back, let somebody else take the lead of something, and just follow.
Yeah,
Women do like to follow. You just got to be able to know how to lead. That's
right,
about
Yeah.
it.
I
yeah.
would
But
just like watch a man clean my house.
woo,
See, there you go.
That would
There's a
be
demo for everyone.
top
Yeah.
tier.
Exactly. Yeah.
yes.
So
I
it's,
like it.
yeah, I think, yeah, I think we do need more films like this to kind of, because I feel like we've kind of gone, this is just a bigger discussion on like showing sex and sexuality in film, where I think it's kind of swung the pendulum the other way quite a bit, and now I think we're kind of trying to swing back, you know, and show more things and talk more about like real legitimate things, you know, and not
Yeah.
and not really look at it in like a humorous way, although there is still humor in, you know, in that and vulnerability. But I think showing these kind of elements and just showing the spectrum of things
Yeah.
is like really,
Mhm.
really great. But
But had they shown this from if it had been a male CEO being dominated the other way around, do you think people would have laughed, or is it because it was a female in this position that people thought it was humorous?
I think just in general, I think people, one, they're not expecting to see this, and some of the bits that are in it, you know, like
Yeah.
the whole I talked about just before the show, like the whole milk bit
Yeah.
where he orders a glass of milk for her, and this is all about the control aspect,
Yeah.
you know, and her relinquishing, like she's gonna do whatever he says. So so she like literally like drinks his milk, maintains eye contact with him too the whole time, and she just
Yeah.
like downs the milk the whole like in one sitting, you know.
Yeah.
And then later on, he like walks by her and calls her a good girl, and
No,
her
that
reaction
thing
was
was
like,
crazy. And
yeah,
I didn't even see
Yeah.
that. I didn't even see the movie. I just saw
Yeah.
that clip, and I
Right.
was like,
That's in the
"Oh!"
trailer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, "I don't even drink milk, but okay."
Oh, that was the thing too. Like she's
I
like,
don't even
I'm not
drink
gonna
milk.
drink that. Like, yeah, because she's with her friends too. She's
Yeah,
with
they're
them.
like, "Are you gonna drink that?" And she
Yeah, just
grabs
like,
it, yeah.
and she does.
So she does this
Oh,
with her friends around her and complies. That's
yeah.
interesting.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right. You're making me
So
want to watch this movie for sure. Not the A24. I'm going to watch it anyway, but
yeah, I
it's
mean,
like a rule.
yeah, it's really. I mean, and Antonio Banderas is really great in it too. There's a really like kind of heartbreaking moment
Mhm.
with it. But yeah, it's just really fascinating to watch, and I think it's a good start into opening up the conversation to more of these kind of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I like that. That's
I
good.
dig it.
Jackie, you
Yeah.
got to see a movie this week, and it was the documentary that Danny Radcliffe produced about his stuntman. Is that correct?
Yes, it was.
oh, that's
It's
cool.
called David Holmes, The Boy Who
Mhm.
Lived, and I didn't even know that a stunt double was injured on the set of Deathly Hallows Part 1 when they were doing stunt practice. He was flown back into a wall with too much force and he broke his neck. And he had been Harry. He had been Daniel's stuntman for most of the movies. A couple years older than Daniel, they were really good friends. They still are. And Daniel and David wanted his story to be told. In recent years, his ability to use his arms has become less and less. So he's had a couple of surgeries. They go through that process and some complications from those surgeries. And it's really beautifully done. It's very honest. And it was very moving to watch. And I love the Harry Potter films, and I would have never known unless this documentary was made that someone was injured and the whole course of his life was changed by a tragic accident on set.
Well, I'm glad Daniel did decide to at least highlight this because it just shows again his character. That's something
Yeah.
we've all looked at with
I
him.
believe
He's
he wrote
had
the
a great
foreword
character.
for the book of the
Mhm.
as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm assuming I'll watch it, but I'm assuming heartbreaking at parts as well. So.
It really
Definitely
is.
watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it also shows the true love that the group of guys that had been friends since making the Harry Potter films have taken into adulthood, and they really rally around David when he needs it. So
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
because the cast didn't change from the first film to like the crew. I'm sorry, the crew behind the scenes
Right.
stayed the same throughout the whole run. So like all these people grew up like together and probably saw each other more than they saw their families. So like
yeah.
Yeah.
it built
Or
something
school
really
friends,
awesome.
right? Because they were
Yeah,
schooling outside of
essentially.
school. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think it's so important to kind of advocate for the fact that stunt doubles and a lot of the people behind the scenes do not get
The recognition.
this. They don't get the recognition. They don't always get the best safety
Yeah.
for things. And I know they're still kind of working on fighting. We had the strike that happened, but afterwards they still had to go and strike, and it wasn't taken as seriously. Like, I don't think the average moviegoer realizes how important those roles are. So
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you wouldn't have movies like Fury Road at all without
No.
stunt people.
Right.
Like at
But
all.
that's
The
why
movie
they
couldn't
need
exist.
like
Fury Road. Jeez.
I know it's small, but like they need better safety. Like not this part, but like this is big. They need better safety for stunt
yeah.
folks, as stunt women and men, or people, not to generalize, but I also feel like they need recognition too because what they do is so
Yeah.
important because
Yeah.
like you don't want to put the star of the film or any of those people in danger, but you'll put this person in danger, but
Yeah.
then you'll give the star an award for what this person did.
Right.
You
Yeah.
need that, and I'm not saying that they don't deserve an award because they still did things, but so does the stunt people. Like I
Yeah,
feel
the
like
fact that there is
they
no
should have a
Academy
cate-
Award for
they
stunts
should have a
is still the
category.
most
Like,
Yeah, it's so-
infuriating
they
thing.
risk
Yeah.
their lives for this.
Yeah.
They risk their
Yeah.
lives for entertainment for people. Like,
And in the documentary, it shows footage of him doing the stunts for Harry Potter, and it's like So what did Daniel do?
Where's Daniel?
With glasses
He's like
on,
having a
and just,
coffee,
like,
watching.
delivering like.
He just memorized the lines. That's
Yeah.
about it.
Right.
He
Yeah.
memorized the lines. That's it. Like, yeah.
Not to take
But this
anything away from
shows-
Daniel Radcliffe,
no,
because
not at all.
But this shows
But-
these roles take more than one
Exactly.
person, no matter what.
For
Yeah.
sure,
Right.
Somebody
no
wrote
matter
the
what.
lines.
Yeah.
Somebody
Yeah.
directed them. Somebody
Yep.
somebody did something.
How
It's a
boring
team
would it have
effort.
been if there was no stunts in Deathly Hollow?
Right?
Right.
Oh yeah, no. Now
Like,
I just
come
watched
on.
Wicked, and
Yay.
Olivia did her
Olivia.
or no,
Yeah.
Cynthia.
Cynthia,
Revo.
sorry,
Yeah.
did her own stunts,
pretty
and
amazing.
that
Yeah.
I watched the behind the scenes. I
And
was
singing and
floored, right?
at the
And singing
same
with
time.
her diaphragm being crushed, like
And she had to
Yes.
learn. She had to like
First
relearn how to sing.
how to
basically.
sing.
right,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
belt it too, like
Yeah.
defying gravity. Oh, goosebumps everywhere. Anyway, I digress. Danielle, you got to watch a Korean drama this week called Love Reset. I'm assuming that's not what the Korean is, but that's the translation. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I get most of my recommendations to watch a new Korean drama on YouTube Shorts. It shows me clips all the time. I was like, "Ooh, I want to see this." And so I saw a clip because these two, it's about a couple. They are married and they're at a point of wanting divorce. They hate each other. They used to be, so it shows how they started, how they were in love, and how they slowly started to get on each other's nerves, and a lot of miscommunication. And they go and get their divorce. They're arguing it out. The court system tells them they have to wait a certain amount of time, I think like 30 days before it can go through. And they get in a car accident and lose their memories. So they don't.
Oh, I've seen
Oh
the
my
reel for
God.
this. I mean, the
Yeah.
YouTube short for this. Oh my
That's
God.
funny.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes. So they know how to do everything, but they don't remember each other. They don't remember each other's families. So it's funny because the families are like, the doctor tells them having a place that they're familiar with would be the best. So they end up living back in their house together with her sister there to supervise to make sure they don't fall back in love. And because the mom is like, I'm done with
That's
these
funny.
two, and they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they're slowly falling back in love with each other and not remembering any of the horrible things that they would do to each other. So
Huh.
it's a really cool like rom-com premise, and it's always weird because I watch a lot of Korean dramas. They're about normally 16 episodes long. So when I watch a Korean movie, I'm always thrown off like how quickly it ends. And I'm like, wait.
Oh,
what
funny.
I need more. Yeah.
happened? So, but it was a cute, fun movie, and I could so see like an American ripoff of this because the concept is hilarious. So
I feel like there has
Yeah, I was gonna
been,
say.
if I'm
You
not
said
mistaken.
2023, so it makes sense it would get brought over to the States like now, right about now.
Yeah.
yeah.
Just wait a year. I'm sure we'll get something.
Yeah, I mean, I feel
mean-
like you're right. There probably was some sort of
there's
American
some-
version of
The
this.
American
Well,
version of
While
this.
You Were Sleeping
Well.
isn't the same, but it's closer. It's kind of in that realm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So there's
I mean,
stuff
I've
like
seen couples who like are together and then they forget each other. Like they forget why they fell in love, and then
Right.
finally somebody has like a secret or something. Kind of like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
but
or it's
not
always
amnesia.
not both of them have amnesia. Usually
Right.
one will,
Yeah,
and they'll be trying to figure out their life, and then they'll be like, "Why did we break up?" Be like, "Oh,"
right.
and then all of a sudden they get back together or something. You know, that's usually how it works.
Regarding Henry is probably the closest
Oh.
thing.
Mm.
I had my wife watch that, and now every time I'm like, "Hey, do you want to watch Regarding Henry?" She's like, "I don't want to die inside," because that movie will destroy you. It is
That is
heartbreaking.
J.J. Abrams. I think was it him or Jason Katims? One of them wrote that film, and
Really?
yeah,
Well, now I have to
love
look
that
that up.
Yeah.
All right. So the last movie on the Reel Roundup this evening is Mr. Snidbit's watch. I know everybody's going to groan. La La Land. I took forever to watch this movie. And I think it's because I needed to be introduced to Damien Chazelle in a different way. And so the first of his films was Whiplash. Then I watched Babylon. Then I watched First Man.
Oh, interesting.
Then I finally came back and watched this. And I explained this last week to Janine and La and Hannah. it's weird with musicals because I'm so weird about music. If I don't know music, I tend to resist it until I've heard it a few times. Then
Oh.
I'll jump in and tend to like it and groove with it. So this is no different with musicals. So the opening musical part, I'm just like, what is this? This isn't familiar. Like Moulin Rouge, I love because I was like, I know all of these songs and I
Right.
Yeah.
love this. So I gave it 2 shots, and every time shut it off right after as the sequence where she's singing with her friends and doesn't want to go out to the bar or out to the party is where I stopped it both times. This time,
Oh, no.
it very much kind of like what Daniel was just talking about, where I saw a clip of all kind of the key homage scenes from La La Land, and I was like, oh, Singing in the Rain. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All these different things, and I was like, okay,
Influences,
I have to watch this film, and I love Damien Chazelle. So I forced myself to get past that scene, and if I had just done it the first time,
Right.
if I had just said do this, I think it was Headspace though.
man.
Headspace is huge, right? It's
Yeah.
is really big for watching movies. So I was not in the Headspace the first 2 times. Third time,
Mm.
I was bawling at the end of the movie.
Mhm.
I was cheering. I was like, this is gorgeous. I have to have this in 4K.
Yeah.
Wow, Damien Chazelle loves jazz. You just start to realize this about this filmmaker, and he's I don't know. He might become my favorite director if he keeps this up.
Ooh,
Because
high praise.
all 4 of
Statement.
these films are phenomenal, 8s and over across the
Yeah.
board.
Yeah.
And this film, especially, you take Emma Stone, extreme charisma. You take Ryan Gosling, extreme charisma. You put them together, and you have electricity. And it's true in any movie they've been in together so far.
Mhm.
This movie just gets me excited. I want to go watch it again right now because I'm talking about
Yeah.
it. I literally watched it twice.
Same.
I watched it, and then I watched it
I got
again.
the Lionsgate Steelbook. So
Right?
yeah.
I'm
I've
obsessed at this
never
point.
I've never seen it before. I've never seen it before.
Me
And I'm a
either.
person that
man.
loves musicals.
Right?
But
Yeah.
again, like you said, headspace, sometimes I'm not in the headspace for stuff. I have to like pull
Be
myself
in
back
the
and then
zone.
eventually I'll go see it. But the
Yeah.
fact that Snitty says that he wants this in 4K, that he's already seen it twice, and I know how you feel about musicals. I have to hop on it.
I'm mixed, right? It depends on the musical, right?
That's high praise because I know how you feel about musicals. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad it didn't end up being Emma Watson because that would have not been the same
Oh, that would have
experience,
been
I'm
weird.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure it might have still been good, but I don't think it would have been this good.
Have you
No
seen
offense.
Beauty and the Beast?
I do have one complaint about La La Land. It's the only complaint I have, and it was that I had to suspend the disbelief of these 2 gorgeous, successful, talented people being average people that want to make it in Hollywood.
They're like stuck, like right.
Right.
Yeah,
I was
they're
like,
struggling.
this is, of course, you have to have the best play the role, but like I was like
Right.
a little heavy-handed, but it was fine. It was a little.
There's
It
some
was fine.
gorgeous people that just can't act.
Oh no,
Right.
yeah, but
Well, and the thing is,
I'm
like
just saying.
they got it all.
the thing is too, they've both experienced that in their own careers. Like they've
Sure.
both like had,
Right.
Yeah, Ryan struggled quite a bit in the
Mhm.
beginning
right.
because me and Ryan
Right.
go back to our Mickey Mouse
Of
Club
course.
days,
Yeah,
Yes, of course.
and
Yeah.
Ryan was
Goosebumps.
always cute.
Yeah, Goosebumps,
Right.
Ryan.
Goosebumps.
Yeah.
You know, but he was a little, he took his.
Yeah, he had to find his good
Brody,
looks. I think
He was always
I think he
cute.
had to find
He was
them.
like always little and cute, but then he had like a life of a glow up where you were like leading man material. Okay, I didn't.
Oh, and he can play jazz piano. Screw you, Ryan. He's one of those
And
people
he
like
can
Idris
tap
Elba
dance.
that just make me angry. Okay, it's not that I hate
And
you;
dance.
it's that I hate you. Right?
I'm like Emma Stone in the scene. Oh, damn, I
oh,
forgot.
crazy.
Yes,
Stupid
exactly.
Love.
That's
When he
exactly.
takes his
Crazy
shirt
Stupid
off.
Love. They would take.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I am with about Ryan Gosling. I was like,
Real?
Yeah.
stop it. Like,
Seriously?
get it.
You
I feel
photoshopped
the
or
same way.
something?
I know. Yeah, another great.
Which
Yeah,
got
the
even
hype on
worse
La
than,
La
like,
Land
Barbie.
is real.
That got
But the
worse
hype
than
on
Barbie.
Wicked is
It was
real too,
hella
by the way.
Photoshop.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I was not. Wicked was great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So glad
The
you
only
found
thing
it
I
that
hate about
well.
that is it said part 1, and I'm like, oh,
I know.
I need more of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. I
Anytime
think
Part
that
somebody-
two isn't even part 2. They changed the name.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah, it's
Ariana
like-
Grande.
It's like
deserves-
Wicked for life or for once or something like that. It's like Wicked
For good,
forever.
right?
For good,
Wicked
yeah.
for good. There you go.
Because that's one of the
I was like,
songs.
what?
in the second part.
Wicked
Yeah,
with a
Belinda-
vengeance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Galinda
With
is
the
just
vengeance would have been better today.
like I want to bottle Galinda. And
She's
like,
pretty perfect for.
like so of just
Glinda,
all those
yeah.
little quips. I just
Yeah.
Did you see her get that award?
Oh, and
That
do a
award?
little bit.
She acted like it was
too
like
heavy,
really-
too heavy, and people thought she was serious. Yeah.
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Great.
I saw
She's
one
awesome.
scene where Ariana and her face was like, she was like, oh, I was like, oh Lord, I got to take myself out of this. I can't. I have to accept her for the role that she's playing, but because it just came
She's
off
so
so
good.
like goofy to me, and I was just
Yeah.
like, I need context. I'm gonna step back. I need context because
No.
that face and that
It's important
tone
for context.
might be
Yes.
perfection
That's
for the
one.
scene. I said, let me step back. I'll wait till I go watch it before I make a judgment.
Wicked, you have to let unravel too, because at first you're like, okay, where's this going? Okay, I see familiar things, but then you got to let it go,
Yeah.
let it unravel,
Yeah.
I'm
or
here for it.
ravel.
I want to go to Shiz University. I'm here for it.
Right. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the news, which we just got a few stories here, not a ton, but some fun stuff. And then we will move on to our movies and talk about Julia Roberts, Cameron Diaz, and others. So the first story for the news, or I'm sorry, we'll head to the news, is what I should say.
Now it's time for the real news.
All right. And so for the news, the very first story that we have this evening is Josh Gad actually sat down with Mel Brooks because they are making a Spaceballs 2, which after History of the World Part 2, I'm not sure if we should have that, but hey,
Right.
so they're making a Spaceballs 2, and Josh Gad sat down with Mel Brooks and was like, Mel was like, hey, can you tell me what happened in Star Wars since the last time I made a movie? Because I haven't watched any of them. And so he literally had to catch him up so that they could actually
my
sit
God.
down and write the movie appropriately. And I believe the poster we have sitting up here is the one at least the temporary poster that they have for the film, where it says Chapter 12, The Search for More Money, which was always meant to be the tagline for the sequel if
Yeah.
you watched the film.
Right.
So that's exciting. On a sideline, I just watched Remembering Gene Wilder. If you haven't watched it, go watch that documentary. Worth every moment. That said, the next story, short story, is actually that Jason Momoa was just cast as Lobo, which was his fan casting choice
Yes.
for the Supergirl
that.
movie.
I mean,
So
Check that out.
look at him.
It's
In
perfection.
Yes.
It's like
It's
So
perfection.
it does not get any
Yeah.
better.
Yes.
No,
And
Yeah.
it doesn't.
also we know.
I mean, the
I'm sorry.
eyebrows, like
I'm
everything.
sorry. His Fast X persona was
Oh my
auditioned
God.
for this.
I mean,
Yes.
He was
I mean,
auditioned for this.
it was the best thing in that movie. too,
Yes.
right?
You can't
Yeah.
tell
He
me
was
that they
giving
were like,
Joker energy. Like I
Yeah.
would not
It
expect
It
that
was
from him.
so unhinged, and his
Yes.
clothes and everything. It
Yes.
Him
was
just like
So
ridiculous.
good.
puppeting dead
I loved it.
bodies. Like what is happening? And I'm
That was-
here
oh
for
man, I
it.
know.
I'm
Yeah, it
so
was.
here for
At one
Yes.
point, I thought he was going to make out with Vin Diesel. Like that.
Yes.
Nobody's going to
He-
complain. Well, some
I
people.
wouldn't,
You know what?
but
I'd have been there for it too. I'd have been right there seated, like I saw it coming.
Like
Y'all
it's
in love.
rewatchable because of him.
Because
Like
of him.
he makes
Yeah.
it rewatchable.
yeah,
Like, yeah.
it's so true.
Yeah.
But I
did
feel
not-
like
I did not
after a
expect that from him.
while,
I was so proud.
it's always the second people. Like it's never the actual Fast cast.
Yeah.
No,
Making that, it's the people
You
that
get
they
a good
bring
bad
in
guy
to
in
like
there, like,
facilitate. That you're
But-
like, yo, I watched this for this. You don't watch it for the cast.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think they need that because they've been in these roles for
Totally.
more than a
So,
decade now,
yeah,
and
Mhm.
so
Right, and they don't
that,
die.
they don't
there's no
die.
more room to
They
grow.
die.
Right,
No,
right.
no,
They
they
become
No,
flat.
die.
So
They
Yeah.
die like Marvel characters die.
Right.
It's a soap
Yeah,
opera with
they're
fast
superheroes.
cars.
It
It's
is
So
fine.
so
having-
dopey. Yeah.
having a new on-screen partner can bring
Yes.
out different elements
Yes.
out of you, and I
Exactly.
think
Yeah.
that's what's been great about it.
Yeah.
Can't believe I know our good friend Marley was on, so
Oh,
he's
yeah.
probably having the time of
Yes.
his life.
It is like, yeah, absolutely.
I don't see him talking anymore, but yeah, he has been here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hashtag family, Marley.
Yeah.
I love his fast content. Or
I
his
know that's
Yeah.
his favorite
Oh, yeah.
franchise. It's
He
his-
came on and did the first
Yeah.
one with us, so we have
Yeah,
him slotted
nice.
whenever we do the
Oh, yeah.
second. We know
I mean,
it's
the
gotta be
car
that.
drama.
We-
The car drama
anytime
called
we
Fast
see
and Furious.
anything, forget about it,
You gotta-
cuz like we send it to each other.
You gotta have it forever. You gotta have him for all the fast.
We are only covered up to I think the second, because I think Tokyo Drift is 2006, so it's right
Yeah.
outside of our time. We're like,
Oh,
darn it,
yeah.
sorry.
Hey.
I forced my
No, it is
British
2006.
co-host
That's
to
the problem.
watch them
That's
all
disappointing.
for the first time, and he actually like loves them. He said, "I think 9 is his favorite." And I'm like,
9?
So funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is.
I mean,
loves
everybody's
it.
got to go to space, but you know.
They got the
Yeah.
everyone's got yeah.
But
Yes.
Honestly, I love it.
I love the Fast and the Furious franchise because it is the core of anti like movie bro,
anti-caring.
right?
Mhm.
What
But it's just
people are doing.
fun, and sometimes
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
movies
exactly.
can just
Right.
be fun. They could be
Like you're not trying to
outlandish,
win an Academy Award.
Yeah,
It's just
right?
trying to
No,
have
they're just
fun.
and you know what you're
playing.
getting. You
They know
know
what
that
they're
you're making fun of the movie
doing.
as you
Exactly.
watch too, right?
They're
Yeah.
just
Exactly.
having fun. They're playing.
Which is why they went to space, because people talked about them going to space.
Exactly.
And they were like, all right, you
They're
want
like,
to
all right,
play? You want to
how can
play?
we do
They
that?
know that
You
in
want to play?
6,
We could go to
that-
space.
Yes.
I can make
right? That
And
6,
They
the
know their
runway is so
audience,
long,
like,
right?
yeah.
They know that, and they
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
care that it's 100
Right.
miles
The
long.
way they bring people
Yeah.
back, when me and my friend saw Lucas Black in the trailer, we were like freaking out.
And
Listen,
Bow
when I-
Wow, I was like, wow,
Yes.
Right.
that-
Yeah,
that's
Bow Wow.
Yes.
Bringing
wild.
back.
Can we talk about Christopher Nolan liking the Fast
yes.
franchise?
That's
Like,
his
I
guilty
mean,
pleasure movies, right? He
Yeah.
basically is like, I
Like,
use these
and
to
I love
unwind.
that.
Right?
So
That's
in
They've
hearing
got
that,
Helen
yeah.
Mirren, for God's sakes. We talked
She
about this
wanted
in
I
our
to
know.
Rom-Com
be in it. I
episode.
think
It's like
Charlize,
mind
Oscar
blown.
winner Charlize
But-
asked to be in
Yes.
this as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Helen Mirren's favorite movie is Dodgeball, so
So,
it
like, right.
tracks.
How
can
many
dodge a wrench, you can
Oscar
dodge a
winners
ball.
That makes her
have
so
they had
real.
in that?
Queen,
And
Jackie. She's
they've
a
had
queen.
what? They had Brie Larson. They had Charlize
Yeah.
Theron. They've had
Uh-huh.
Helen Mirren. Who else? Has
Jason
been in-
Momoa.
has- but that has Oscars.
Like Oscars.
Right, that has,
Oscars.
yeah,
Oh,
like
Oscars.
caliber, yeah.
Like, I
Those
mean,
three.
Kurt Russell, he does. I don't think he's an Oscar, but that's
I mean,
Hollywood
yeah,
royalty.
He's
Yeah,
right
still,
there.
he's still pop
Like-
culture
Loves that,
royalty.
yeah.
without a
Yeah.
doubt.
No,
That's
for sure.
crazy.
I mean, he's been in Disney movies since he was a kid.
Okay.
so-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the list.
Okay.
Wait, Charlize Theron, Rita Moreno,
Yes.
Oh
Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
she's
that's
grandma.
right.
Brie
Forgot.
Larson, what is it?
Helen Mirren.
Has she won an Oscar though? She's been nominated, but I don't know if she's won. I just
No,
thought
who,
about
Brie?
that. Helen Mirren. I
Helen
mean,
Mirren.
not
Helen
Holly. Helen Mirren.
No, I think she was nominated. Vanessa Kirby was nominated for it. Jaimin Hansu was nominated for it. Like, they were at least nominated. They nominated.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Jaimin
Sounds like it's
Hansu.
all ladies too. Is there a
Yeah.
single dude?
Yeah.
On
Jaimin
Jaimin
Hansu.
Hansu.
Yeah.
Oh,
But-
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
that's
Oh,
hilarious.
wow.
I dig it. Listen, my goal is to be in Fast and the Furious. That's the dream.
But it'll be like what, 11 or are you 12, 13? You
In
okay
like
with-
20
Listen,
years
I
when they
gotta have
reboot
hope.
it.
Listen, if they reboot it,
Right.
I need to be the Paul Walker character. Make me the lead.
all right.
Make me the
Alright.
lead. Make everybody mad by making it so it's a girl.
Everybody.
And I'm black. They gonna hate that, and it's gonna make it
Yeah.
even better.
Would you have the same last name? Would your name still be Spillner?
Well, it's actually O'Connor, but Spillner.
I know,
Yeah.
but Spillner's
Yeah.
the one he lies with, right? And so, like,
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I always hear
Serial
Hatfield
killer
as a-
name.
Honestly,
Well,
I
typical
would
white boy
love,
name, you know.
I would love to have his exact name, but in a girl version.
I think it would be
would love
funny
his
if you'd be
exact name.
O'Connor.
Yeah.
It would be funny. It would be.
That's what I want. I want to be an
Yeah.
O'Connor.
Brianna-
Brianna
Freeman.
O'Connor.
You're going to
Brianna
be
O'Connor.
like
Freeman and
Bernie
Josh.
Mac
Maybe it's
and
because I'm
Charlie's
Irish.
Angels too.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
because
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
Irish.
Exactly.
Love it.
I need to do it. It needs to happen. It needs
Yeah.
to happen.
Black
Keep it
Irish.
O'Connor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Brianna
Um,
O'Connor.
there is one
Yeah.
more story I wanted to mention, and it is
Rhiannon.
it's a nice little tender one. It's not long, but apparently Jake Lloyd is finding his way back to the Star
Yep.
Wars world, not
Aw.
via acting, but with his mother. He's actually been watching some of the shows. He says he's watched Ahsoka and really liked it. He's watched and played some of the video games and really enjoyed them. And now they're going to be doing Star Wars Day this year, where they're going to watch more together and celebrate. And he's trying to use it as a way to heal himself now, which is brilliant. And I love it to see him come back. So as I get a little misty over that.
Yeah.
I just never understood the hate. I thought he did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
He
So,
says that
it's just-
his battle with schizophrenia is actually like getting better. Like, he's learning
Right.
how to like maintain, and this is giving him the opportunity to go back into past Star Wars things to like any. And I think he said that the fan base has switched. There's been some fans that have been like, "Thank you for coming back." We have given him that appreciation that he should have got as a
Right.
child.
Well,
Yeah.
other actors who have
Yeah.
been through that also are getting these kind
Yeah.
of redemption,
Yeah.
appreciation
He
things
deserves
happening.
it.
Yeah, Ahmed Best has gone
Yes.
through all these things.
Mhm.
And
Hayden,
even
yeah.
Hayden Christensen for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, but his performance in Obi-Wan, come on.
I'm just waiting.
Oh my
I'm just
God,
waiting
yeah.
for Moses Ingram to get her comeback from
yeah, the way they
And the entire cast of The Acolyte. Let's just
Yeah.
give them some credit, too.
But I mean, the white man went first, so that's great. So hopefully the black woman can come in there second, because that's usually how it goes. You know, they get their recognition, like appreciation first. No disrespect, I'm not trying to like make this thing, but hopefully she can kind of get in there too, to get, because she was unnecessarily hated on, and I just like, it'll make you stop acting the way that they were doing it. I mean, Jake stopped, like he just like because of the hate for just auditioning, winning the role, and saying lines on screen. Like,
doing what George Lucas, a really bad director, told him to do. I'm just saying, that's unfair.
No one like understands that either. Like how much the director's influence
with the terrible screenplay, like
right. I'm not trying to be mean to people, but it is because George Lucas didn't know how to step the hell back and let somebody else take the reins. It's
we
why
talk about
they're
that
what they are.
on our episode 2.
We had Maria on, because she loves hating Christensen
so much. And we talked about like who wrote the script. Like we could have done better, or if he had just let Hayden and Natalie like have chemistry and not be so forced to
soapy lines.
Lines. Carrie Fisher couldn't even save that, like, because she was a ghostwriter for the original 3, and then he had her come back to help, but she couldn't fix that.
It was too far gone.
I can't even imagine what it was before she tried to like try.
Oh my god! Right?
Yeah, fix anything. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Listen, that's a cut. That's a cut I want to see. You know what I mean?
I know the Carrie Fisher cut. That would be dope.
Yeah,
that'd be great. The prequel.
But I want to see all the. I want to see all the cuts of the words they got left on the floor. Like I would. Because
that's the thing. Like, that's what's weird about George, is that he was so dictatorial about everything before it even happened that there wasn't anything on the floor. Like he didn't do it that way, which can be good. I mean, Werner Herzog is the same way. He will only film what he needs. But it's, if you know what you're doing, that works well. If you don't, you don't.
Well, I meant more
you like,
I meant like
you
the
get
lines
yourself in a corner.
I meant like the lines that got cut. The lines that got cut.
Oh,
right.
That's what I mean.
I thought you meant cutting room floor.
No, I meant like what got cut, like line wise, or what words got removed or replaced. I would love to hear
a version that's pre Carrie Fisher. Just straight up George Lucas. Like,
I would love to see how that look sounded. That would have been great. But
do you think those are owned by Disney, or do you think he got to keep the original things, or do you think he had to give it all up?
I don't think I don't know if it even exists. It probably was like. I mean, I don't know if those drafts go to Disney or anything like that. You know, like.
Or if he holds on to that stuff.
I mean, and especially since it was pre-Disney, like I don't know if that, it's
like
probably
you get the intellectual property, I guess, but you don't get to, like, I wrote the scripts. Like, I mean, those things kind of like it's already done.
Know, like what the deal is.
That's a good point. You would have the right to distribute and make it under that name, but you wouldn't have the right to what I wrote in the
like
70s or whatever.
Unless I gave it to you, unless that's what we decided on. But like.
This is tangent number 1 by the Reel Study. We will get on to that now. All right, so we do. So we do have a couple movies that our prestigious guests have brought to us. We have My Best Friend's Wedding and The Holiday, even though the holidays are over. That feels like it's not really a Christmas movie, and it is, but it isn't. So first, who picked which film?
Well, Jackie picked both, but she knows that I absolutely loved My Best Friend's Wedding. It was my birthday movie for one of maybe second or third season of our podcast. And we both loved The Holiday. So,
and I don't like Christmas movies, so The Holiday is like the closest I'm gonna get to like a holiday.
It's in a sweet spot. Yeah,
it is.
It is. Well, the people in the movie aren't really celebrating.
Camera off here.
No.
Oh no. So you can leave. We'll have to add you back, but you're allowed to leave.
Oh, dang it. Okay. Don't do that.
They celebrate the holiday, but they don't celebrate it in a way where they're
it's not like
presents.
Running in your face.
It's very in the background. There's gifts that people exchange. Like, it's very like low key, which is like which I do. It doesn't
happy Christmas.
The relationships are the focus of the movie, not the
holiday time.
But and I like it's a play on words too, because
I was just gonna say that.
Like take a holiday doesn't it's like a vacation.
Yeah, they're on holiday.
Right. It's a winter movie, which I love. Like I love seasonal movies that get you. Even I live in Florida, so it's never really winter here, but it puts you in that mood,
Yeah.
So La
That was
La
the thing I was
Land
to say
is
about
like
LA
Florida,
is like
right?
you don't really
You can come
see
to
Right.
you can come
weather.
to
You
Michigan
go
if
through
you
the whole
want
year
some
and it looks
snow.
exactly the same
Yeah.
all year
Yeah.
round.
Danielle, if you want some
Eventually.
snow, slide on over to Michigan, baby.
No,
We got
no, 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 no.
Like, I'm
Do
good.
we get
I'm
all 4
good.
seasons here in Oregon, by the way?
No,
Just to
I
put that out
lived in
there.
New York
Yeah.
We
for a
do get all 4.
while, and that was as cold as I do. Like that middle of the country snow cap, almost Canada nonsense.
Yeah, baby.
That's a
When
hard
I
pass.
when I came home
I'm
last
good.
night, it was 14 degrees.
Nope.
I said,
No,
Ugh.
don't know
Ugh.
nothing about
Ugh.
that. I don't
14
go
would be the
below 50
coldest day
degrees.
in the deepest part of winter on a freak winter night here in Oregon. 14 degrees is
Yeah.
that's
we
not
rarely
that's
get
not
down
even
to
a
that.
freak. Honestly, that's a regular winter.
Oh, okay.
Great.
And my
I've been to
dad,
Kansas. I've experienced -5. I know it's like hitting a
no,
wall of pain. Like it's no good. Like
no,
Listen,
no,
it's
thank
thank
been
you.
you.
-7 here before, and I'm just like, why are we still working?
Mm.
Why
Ah,
Why are you
do I
still
still?
living?
Why am I
Right.
alive? You
No.
feel me, Janine? Why am
I
I
should be
alive
3 inches
still?
from a fire at that
You feel
temperature.
me? Like,
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
too much, too much. All right, so My Best Friend's Wedding is going to be the first film. We usually do these in chronological order, and it's a 1998 film starring Julia Roberts, Dermot Mulroney, and Cameron Diaz playing a 20-year-old. Okay, uh,
I mean, they're all playing 20-year-olds.
They're
She's
They
they're
were.
28. They're
yeah.
20. Julia Roberts
Yeah.
They're
They're
and
late
still in
they're a
20s
bit
and
older than her. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
still in their
so
20s though, which I was
Yeah.
like,
yeah,
I
Yeah.
was like, all right.
it's
I
more
was
that
like,
they take her
you
to a
had
bar.
your
But hey,
shit together that you are this career
Come
known
on,
critic at
come
dude,
on.
28.
right? Come on.
28,
No.
Mm-mm.
I just
um,
turned 38 and I'm still figuring it out. Like, what?
Yeah, like come on. I'm on
so
career
first,
number 2 and I'm 44,
Yes,
so
I'm 40
right.
and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Come on, man. I'm lost out here.
yeah.
So let's, since it was your birthday movie and your favorite movie, or one of your favorite movies, Danielle, let's start with you. Tell us what you thought about it, if you can remember the first time, and then is this a fresh viewing? When was the last time you watched it? And kind of give us your spiel on My Best Friend's Wedding.
So I definitely saw this in the theater. I loved it. One of the things that I love is that PJ Hogan is the director, and my mom and I were obsessed with Muriel's Wedding. So
Yes.
I was
Oh.
like,
Good one.
not that I don't think I knew the director was the same, but now that I know, I'm like, it
Makes sense.
Yeah.
it adds up.
Yeah.
I loved it because at that time, Julia Roberts was like the end all be all for me. So
Mhm.
remember those like Columbia House DVDs that you would order, whatever.
Yeah.
I still owe.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, right. I know.
so I
Still
like
affecting
was
my credit score. No.
paying for that to get my Julia collection, right? So
Right.
I love My Best
Yeah.
Friend's Wedding so much that I have 2 DVDs of it.
Love it.
And I was just obsessed, mainly because
Mhm.
Jackie will tell you on our podcast, I'm very much a villain apologist.
Mhm.
And to
Mhm.
me,
Love that.
she is a villain. It
Mhm.
is,
She is,
and
absolutely.
this
Mhm.
movie completely flipped the genre of a rom-com by having
Oh yeah.
the America's sweetheart play
The
Yes.
villain.
the
Yep.
villain.
Yeah.
And
And
this
she's
was
like the protagonist and the antagonist at the
Yes.
same
Yeah.
time.
Right.
Like what?
Mhm.
Like yeah.
And at the end, she doesn't get the guy. Like that
Yeah.
doesn't
That's
happen, but you
awesome.
still
I
To
feel
love that.
Julia
Yeah.
Roberts of all
right.
people.
I know.
Right.
Julia ain't got this man. What you
I know.
mean?
Mhm. And she's like, for me anyway, like I mean, she's beautiful regardless, but for some
This is
reason in
peak
this,
gorgeous.
oh my god,
Yes.
yeah, I'm
Her
just
hair
like,
is
Magic
Really?
girls,
ugh, yeah,
the
she's
like
so,
the,
she's
The
so
curls
beautiful.
are
power
popping.
suits.
Yeah.
Yes. The midriff.
And
Mhm.
I do
Oh
love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I do love that they play to her costume being more masculine a little bit
Yeah. Oh yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
comparison to
Well, the
Kimmy,
Like
glasses.
who
it's
is
kind of muted too. The
Yes.
colors are
right,
muted, and like
Mhm.
yeah. Where
and Kimmy
Kimmy
is
is
very
yeah,
girly.
yeah,
And I
She's
don't
got
know
the,
that we
even she
saw
even
a
has
ton.
the
immediately.
And I don't
Yeah.
know that we saw a ton of guy-girl best friend dynamics in
No,
films
No,
like this.
totally.
Rupert
Yeah.
Right.
Everett playing a gay man in this role,
Yeah.
that was like I mean, we talked about this too, right, Jackie? About
Yeah.
Mhm.
yes, it's kind of like a pitfall because it's the gay best friend trope, but
Right.
he did it like no one else has.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
And it's
really
like
good.
90. It's late 90s too, which I don't I feel like now it's a trope, but I
Yeah.
feel like back
Yeah, at
then
the
it wasn't
time,
necessarily
that was
played
kind of a
with
new
as
one.
I
much.
feel
Like,
like he launched
Yeah.
it. It
Yeah.
was
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a sing along in the middle of it.
right.
I know.
Yeah,
Right?
it's almost
And
a
even the
musical.
musical kind of
So good.
opening as well. I totally
Yeah.
forgot
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Which is
Because it's
why during the Academy Awards, it got put in comedy musical
yes,
Right. I mean,
category.
Baccarat.
Yeah.
Is that his name?
yeah,
The-
Burt
the-
Bacharach.
Or
Burt
Baccarat.
Bacharach.
There's like
Yeah.
multiple.
multiple of
Yeah.
his songs are in this
It's
movie,
amazing.
which I
Yeah.
love. as
And
well.
Dionne Warwick, actually.
Yes.
There's more than one of her songs in it.
Because
as well.
they had such a partnership, her
Right.
and Bert.
Burt Bacharach,
And Burt.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
BB. Call him BB.
So, Jackie, you watched this movie with Danielle more than once, it sounds like, or at least discussed it more than one time.
Yes. So my Y2K self, I would watch it on Valentine's Day, and this is just how my juvenile brain worked, because I wanted to watch someone having a worse day than I was having.
That's good. I like that.
Man.
So I have seen this movie many times, but as my little baby self, I didn't realize what a villain she was. Like, she was messing with careers, relationships, like,
Family
and not
dynamics. Like family
Family
dynamics.
dynamics,
She
yeah,
was just
like
trying to live, Jackie. She was just trying to live.
George was the voice of reason, and she was having
Yeah.
none of it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you were
Taking
Julia
the
Roberts,
blame.
wouldn't you think things belong to you too? Like I would, you know.
Mhm.
But I mean, she not Julia Roberts in this film though, Danielle.
Yeah.
But
Her name is Jules, and that's Julia Roberts'
Julianne.
nickname.
Yeah.
Juliet.
Honestly,
Juliet.
I found that so funny when it was like
I know.
Julianne. I was like, we couldn't do better.
Lazy.
Well, it's like
It was-
Jack
Like,
Douglas
all
has
right.
played
was
But
happened.
they-
Jack multiple times.
They
Right.
wrote it, I think, with Julia Roberts in mind.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Well,
Yeah. it
From
feels
what I
that
saw,
way.
Dermot got the role because she was like, you want to pick Dermot here, and you want to pick Cameron. Like, they got
Yeah.
the roles because Julia said
Mhm.
pick him.
Mhm.
So
She was
that's a lot
the
of
one
power.
who
She was
kind of-
right.
Yeah.
Because they said at the time it was either her, the only people who could play it was her or Sandra Bullock. And at the time, Sandra Bullock
Mhm.
wasn't in full swing of her
No,
rom-com
totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
thing. But that's what PJ said. Like, it was Julia or Sandra and no one else.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I agree.
I can see
Yeah.
that.
But it worked with her, 'cause
Totally.
like
I
you
can see
said, with
that.
the reputation she had of being like the hero character and the one we're following.
Yeah,
was
they
the
could play off
lovable,
of that, right? Like, yeah.
back to her popularity as this particular thing getting switched like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The audience
I also just feel like Julia fitted better. As
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
just
But you can't have the
about,
big
like,
hairline with
Sandra.
Sandra Bullock. I'm just saying.
No.
I mean, you kind of could.
I
You
know,
did
it's so
her hair
funny.
like that. But I just feel like
Big haired.
with Julia, I just
Ooh,
felt like
critic.
she was seated in this film way more than I think anybody else could be
Yeah.
seated
Yeah.
in.
This
Law,
was
go ahead.
so
Tell
cool.
us what you think about My Best Friend's Wedding. Go ahead and tell us what you thought. Was this your first viewing?
No, I've seen it like a couple of times, but I think this is the first time I paid attention to it. Like, no disrespect.
Oh,
I'm being totally honest, because like I remember seeing like bits and pieces and clips and things like that, but then like actually having to like sit down and like watch it, like fully watch it, kind of get things into context. I was like, "Ooh, Julia!" I said, "Baby, you was going through it." But like, I love the writing. I love like because certain things popped out to me where she's like, uh dang it, what'd she say to him? She was like, I think she was talking to George, and she was like, we just have so much in common. You know, we're like the same person. And then in my mind, I was like, that doesn't make a boyfriend or a husband.
Yeah,
That is
because
true,
that's
right.
why he works so well with Kimmy, because they're so different.
They're so
Yeah.
different. Like, she can pull some stuff out of him that he can, like, you know, instill, put some stuff in her. Like, it's a good, like, give and take. But, like, if you the person, the same person, y'all not, that's why y'all didn't work. Like, the friendship works because you're the same person. A relationship wouldn't work because you're the same person. So, like, I love that dynamic and her having to come to that realization towards the end, even if it does still hurt. Because I personally feel like she was not in love with him. I think she was
She
in
just
love
had a
with their
claim on him.
friendship.
Yeah.
I think she was in love with their friendship and knew that it would change dramatically once he got married.
Or
So she's
maybe
like-
in love with the idea of both of them having to wait till they're
I mean,
28. Like,
yeah.
she just assumed he would too. So
No,
Right.
she
was
just wanted to. She
at
just
default.
didn't want to lose him.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
No,
it.
that's what I felt. That's what I
Yeah.
It was
feel
like the
she
safety
does.
net for her.
Right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think she equated it with romance, and it wasn't like, even though they had that thing.
Yeah,
they
for
had it
her.
a little
Yeah, because
bit,
she's not very
you know.
like romantic
Lovey-dovey.
herself, you know,
and
and
stuff
stuff.
like
Yeah.
that, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
and
so,
I love
like,
that he
I
calls
think,
her out
like,
on that as well.
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
exactly.
about
He
her,
was
like,
like,
she never
yeah,
wanted
like
a kiss
you
or a hug for too
you pulled
long.
away
Oh,
from me,
Yeah.
man.
you know, like
Yeah.
because I felt like in terms of like now, like Kimmy is seated in her feminine and Julianne is seated in her masculine. If we
Mhm.
going by
For
terms
sure.
of
Yep.
today,
Mhm.
and so like you know, there are some guys that are okay with that and they like that they approve. But there are a lot of guys that want the Kimmy. So I love that this film, even in '98, shows two aspects of a
Yeah.
woman, right? Like
Mhm.
we can be multiple things. We aren't just one thing. And then you see her, gets her femininity kind of coming in towards like the middle, towards the end. She starts
Mhm.
to get like those feelings start to come up. So I just think it's like very, because like '90s writing is kind of from time to time. So
Yeah.
like to have this kind of still be a
Yeah, it's
film that
very
like
formulaic, and that's why this
right.
one, you know, really
This
breaks
one
that
just kind
mold.
of like breaks the mold for that one, like for that, and
Mhm.
kind of informs why we have decent 2000 films probably because
Yeah.
of the writing of this, like the smart writing of this, and like the characters and everything comes to play. I just thought it was great. And anytime you throw a musical into anything, I'm here, baby. I'm here.
Brian, had you ever seen My Best Friend's Wedding before this episode?
Yeah.
I had a
I mean, have I ever seen My Best Friend's Wedding? I've seen it twice within the past like couple months actually. So I
Oh,
like
okay.
even because like I watched it just last night, but then also I had recently watched both of these films like not too long
Me
ago.
too. I just like watched the holiday, so I was like, I
Yeah.
barely had to watch that
Oh, yeah.
again.
So I've seen them,
Yeah.
and this one goes back to my movie theater days when I worked at a movie theater. We had this movie
Mm.
at the theater, and it was like huge. And actually, what the thing was, so it was like gone when I first worked at the movie theater, but then it was so popular they re-released it again.
Oh my gosh.
Like, and yeah, because it had done so well at the box office, it came back to theaters and it did insane again. We were selling it out all the time, and this is one of those funny movies. Like I always remember, like because you had to go in and clean the theater, like so I always remember having. You always have like certain movies like music that plays during the
Yeah.
credits. So it would always be in my head throughout the day. So and My Best Friend's Wedding was one of them, and I would go in sometimes like and like you could get like real audience reactions to certain points. So like women really loved Rupert Everett's like the whole scene at the end when he's like shows up at the wedding,
Yeah,
you know,
he's calling
man,
her.
yeah, there was like audible reactions from
Oh,
women.
So you're doing
like,
I
your
love
theater
that.
checks, right?
exactly. I was
You're
doing theater checks.
yeah.
Like, yeah, it was so fun to see.
They
theater
got
hear
the
those
were great.
reactions.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah,
I'm doing
they're
my
like,
job
oh.
to perfection. Yeah.
I
Yes, exactly.
I did the same
Yeah.
thing with Romeo and Juliet, where I would go in because I
Yeah.
know when it started and I know what scene
Uh-huh.
was going to play, and I'd go in
Yeah,
and go
at certain
watch this for a
times.
minute, look at the audience, and then I'll leave.
It was
all
fun, and like,
Yeah.
yeah, it didn't matter that he was. Yeah, it didn't matter that he was gay. They're like,
Right.
nah, he's got charisma, you know, for sure.
Yeah.
And
Love it.
this is also another one of those movies that like people did not know the title for some reason. Like every time they would ask, they'd go to purchase a ticket, they didn't know what the name of the movie was. It's like, no, that's
Julia
not.
Roberts movie.
Yeah, exactly. The wedding movie, and it's like, okay, yeah, like yeah, the Julia Roberts Friends movie. Yeah, yeah. It's like
But this
Yep.
was also the era of knowing a movie by its actor. So I'm seeing this
Yeah.
right.
Schwarzenegger movie.
No,
I'm seeing-
No,
exactly.
sure.
Yeah.
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 Sure.
So like
Right.
no one ever
I'm
called
seeing
it
the
by
Van
its actual
Damme
name.
movie. I'm seeing the Julia Roberts movie.
I do
Yes.
want to get Janine. I want to get your take, obviously, but I got to pause here because we do have ex-Blockbuster employees here, and this is definitely something they
Right.
experienced because I experienced it at Hollywood and Blockbuster
Yes.
as well. I had somebody come in and go, "Do you guys have that new movie that Die Hard is in?" And I'm like, "You mean
Terrible.
Bruce Willis?"
What
and
are
they're
you
like,
talking
"Yeah,
about?
Die
right
Hard."
now? Like, yeah,
Die Hard.
Die
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah,
guy.
that's his name. Die
That-
Hard.
That was his
We're-
name. I'm
Die
just like, oh my god! Or I
We
get,
are so
do you guys
good at
have
that.
identity, right?
Yeah.
You have identity.
You have to. It was like that at the
Oh my
movie
God.
theater too. Yeah, you had
Yeah.
to like translate what they
My
were like.
favorite was a kid came in and he asked if I had the Sean Hank redemption. And I was like, Sean Hank. It's a
Whoa.
drama. Good luck to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like,
we
you
have
were
it.
supposed to read the book, weren't you?
Right.
Have you
All
guys
All right,
ever
I'm not even
played-
selling this to you.
That's
I'm not even
funny.
writing this out to you.
Yeah.
You can't even say this.
Yeah.
Go
have you
back.
played the
bro.
Blockbuster game?
Oh no, I haven't. I've like
Yeah.
been
You
tempted
guys
to buy
should
it.
I
definitely
have
play
it,
that
but
game.
Yeah.
nobody.
Okay.
I have no one to play the game with because nobody I
So-
know is
All right,
into
I'll take a-
movies
I'll
as
take a
much
trip.
as this group.
I'll
right
take a
here.
trip down to Fresno.
I'm always
Yeah.
so excited to play
I
it
have no
when
one to
people
play it.
let me.
Let's plan that out.
Is it
But
the
I
kind of game
haven't-
we could all have a copy and figure out how to play it, or is it really kind of an in-person thing?
No, I think like if someone has the
the
Well,
board, like a
you would
camera on the
you
board,
I have
maybe.
it.
because you have
Yeah.
cards, so you kind of
Yeah.
need
Mhm.
that. I don't know why they haven't made a
Yeah.
digital version, but like I have my family play with me or friends play, and they'll do something like one of my really good friends said, dinosaur or something like that, and I think it was like the clue. I was like Godzilla, and she was like no, but then I was thinking about all the blockbuster experiences
Mhm.
where I'm like, okay, they're thinking of something big and tall, but it's not Godzilla. And I was like,
Not
King Kong,
yeah.
and she was like, yes. I was like,
Dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
Man.
Yeah. Adjacent.
my little sister was like, how? I said, you don't even know the skill.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, no,
Like,
it's there was always like you'd
That's
have
funny.
to tell somebody, no, it's this movie, I promise, and
Yeah.
this is the person that's
Yeah.
in it. Come over here, it's
Yeah.
in the
It is.
drama section.
It just
and
reminds
we've
me
had
of
to do this
how
before IMDb.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it just reminds me how superior we are to
Right?
No,
I
absolutely.
felt that a little. I
average
was like, oh god, this
moviegoers.
is
You know,
Right,
it's like,
right.
it's so sad. I feel sad for you
Absolutely.
that you don't know
Yes.
this, but
We don't know
Absolutely.
anything.
My
Absolutely.
like people will ask me if I've seen movies. I'm like, no, but I could describe the cover box to you, like
Yeah.
in great
Yeah.
detail.
I can tell you
because-
the whole thing about the movie. I just
Exactly.
never watched
No,
it.
facts.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I go through that all the time. If I'm hanging around anybody and they're like, "Oh, what's that one movie?" I was like, "What happens in it?"
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me. I'm
Exactly.
like,
Name
"What
one
happens in
actor.
it?"
That's all
Yeah.
I need.
Yes.
I need one
Name an
actor.
Get
actor
there.
and maybe something that happens, and they'll
Yeah.
be like, "The thing with the thing," and I'm like, "You
Or
mean
even a
this? How
prop.
did you do that?"
Yeah,
Right.
just
You know,
Yeah.
like
the clothes.
The
There's a guy
MacGuffin.
in a scene
Yeah.
and
That
he's
was the
shooting
MacGuffin
at
in this
someone.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
she
like,
would
"Oh,
have
Wanted. You talk about Wanted, right? Yeah, that one. Like, it's just give me. I got it. Don't worry
I
about
was
it."
Talking about Wanted. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. If
Janine,
you were
I do want
skinny,
your.
that
No,
would
go
have been
ahead.
amazing. I just
It
want
would
to
have
say that.
been
Yeah.
full
If you were
kismet.
thinking about
We're
Wanted,
kismet enough. Janine, what do you think about My Best Friend's Wedding? How many times have you seen it, etc.?
Oh yes, I've seen it many times, but this had actually been a while since I'd seen it. And I honestly don't think this film works if it's bending over backwards to make you like Julia Roberts. So I like that we lean into
Mhm.
what she's
Mm.
doing is wrong.
Mhm.
Everyone's
Mhm.
telling her that.
Mhm.
And
She's
we're not
telling her that.
trying to yes, and we're not trying to
Right.
like her despite what she's doing. They're not justifying her actions at all.
Yeah.
So that plays perfectly. I know I love a film if I know kind of the right conclusion was come to, but I'm still like shouting at my TV. So
Mhm.
despite
Mhm.
knowing that she doesn't really love him, it's all about just having a claim on him and that he's hers.
Right.
I
Exactly.
still shout at my TV for her to just say she loves him when they're going under the bridge every single
I
time.
know.
I'm
Oh
like,
my
just
God.
say it.
Yes. Like,
Just say it. Like the moment is perfect. He's singing
yeah.
to
That's
you.
such a good
You're
scene,
dancing
though.
together. He's
Such a
talking
good
about,
scene.
when you should
Such
just
a
say
sweet
something.
moment. Like, yeah.
Just
Mhm.
say it. And I shout at her to say it every time, even though I know it's not meant
Yeah.
to be. I love that Cameron Diaz's character Kimmy is so underrated. Like they don't
Yeah.
expect she's very disarming. So
Mhm.
like Julianne doesn't expect her to kind of clock her in a lot of things, and she will just jump right in and be like,
And
no,
she
I
clocks her with
know
a
all these things
smile.
about him. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
all these things about him already. I know what you
Mhm.
mean to him.
Mhm.
He said you were gonna say that. So she's already done her research. So I
Right.
love
Yeah.
that like she
She's
completely
ready.
underestimates her in so many different ways. But yeah,
Even in
I
the
absolutely love
karaoke
this
bar,
movie.
she
Yeah.
underestimates.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then that turns into a whole thing that she just kind of has to smile off,
Yeah.
like her little thing that she was trying to do. And when she sees him just lovingly look at her and that she has the crowd, Julianne just kind of has to take a smile and accept it. Like,
Yeah. But I also
okay.
think she took the
Yeah.
smile because I think that even Kimmy's magic was working on her in that moment.
Yeah.
Right? Because
She's
Yeah,
Kimmy
falling
could have
for
like
him.
She
Kimmy
sees
could
why
have
he
ran
loves her.
away.
Yeah.
She could have been like, no, but she stuck
Yeah.
with it, even though she sounded terrible. Like she stuck with it
Yeah.
and she kept going, and that's the charm of Kimmy. And I think that's when she started to see like
Yes.
she's so different from her. Like she's so different, and that's why he's like so drawn to her. I think she was liking her a little bit in that moment. I'm like,
I
Yes.
wanted to save Kimmy because I'm like,
Yeah,
you're
so does
giving up
Michael.
way too much. Like,
I know.
and
I'm
you're
not going to go
bending
back
over
There
to
was a lot
school.
there.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to just
Yeah.
travel around with him. Like,
yeah,
That
I'm
was
gonna
28,
apologize just to make
28, yeah.
it better.
Yeah, that
Like,
broke
what
me.
do
I
we
was like,
need?
girl. I was
And
like,
this-
stand up.
This grown ass man is taking this young, straight out of college child, and that's how it
Right.
felt.
College
Yeah.
dropout.
Summer child.
College dropout. Let's
Yes.
just say.
College
Yeah.
dropout. And
trash.
I just felt like the one thing I noticed rewatching this movie is that Michael is absolute trash. What are we fighting for here?
Absolutely.
What
Yeah.
are
Smitty,
we
did you,
Fair point.
fighting
did you give
for?
us your take on My Best Friend's Wedding?
What? Say that again, La?
Did you give us your take on My Best
Oh no, I
Friend's
have not. I've been waiting. I've been waiting patiently.
Wedding?
Mostly because when I give my take, I don't think it's gonna go the
Oh,
way people
yeah,
think it's
we
gonna
That's
go.
talked
why,
about this.
listen, that's why I
We
said it.
Can I get
encouraged
my
you to do
camera
it.
ready?
No, okay,
We
so
encourage
hold
you
on.
to do
Get it
Before
ready.
anybody vanishes, let me
Mhm.
give the background, and then let me, because I've now watched the movie.
No,
because I
you
spoke
can't.
there's a little background. There's a little background.
Come
No.
on, Brian. It ain't gonna
Either
stop
you-
it, Brian. It's not gonna stop
I
it.
saw this movie.
Brian is already done with me.
He's already left. I saw this
Just
movie
go to the
in
next movie.
in '97, either in '97 or '98. I saw it on video. I did not see this in theaters.
Mhm.
So I'm
The moment I
I'm
wake
not
up.
the biggest Julia Roberts fan. I don't
Trying to
hate
interrupt
her.
with music.
Right. I don't hate her. I don't think of her the way I think of Mark Wahlberg, which is like pure unadulterated hate.
Yeah.
But I'm not drawn. It's not, she's not like, oh, I'm going to go watch that because Julia Roberts in it. It's not that I think that she makes bad movies. I love Erin Brockovich. There's a lot of great things she's made. That said, when I saw this movie for the first time, I fucking hated it. Like, I could not stand this movie to the point where my wife at the time was like, what's wrong with you? My current wife now is like, what's wrong with you? And everybody's like, what's wrong with you? Why don't you like Julia Roberts and why didn't you like this movie? There are a lot of reasons I bet I could guess, but it's probably because I was a very different person than I am now, and I watch movies in a very different way than I used to. But I can say that sitting down this time, I laughed, I cried, I giggled, and I yelled at the screen like Janine did, going, "Don't do that!" It went from a 4, which is what I gave it on Letterboxd when I rated it like 2 years ago or whatever, as I was kind of scrolling through, to a 7. It is now a 7. I will give it that it has found its way to a solid
I
rom-com
love
that
that.
if it was on, I'd probably watch it again. I don't think I'm gonna run
Yeah.
out.
Rewatch movies, folks. Let's
But
need
this
be
is
a
why.
cautionary
This is-
tale.
Right?
Rewatch
I
them.
do insist that people rewatch films because you are a different person than you were 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Unless you're, well, even if you're 20, you're still a different person than you were 20 years ago.
Right.
Probably not watching a lot of movies. There's so many good things about it. Rupert Everett is absolutely one of those things. He was a huge draw in this film. I can see why people find her to be, everybody's sweetheart. She just wasn't my thing. I was a Sandy B person. I've always been a Sandy B person. So
But you don't have to pick. You could love
Exactly.
them both.
I know,
Exactly. was
but
gonna
I
say that.
don't.
There's
It's
room
not
for
even.
both.
It's not even that. Like I said, Erin Brockovich. I've seen that a lot of times. I think she did a brilliant job in that film. But then I was like, see, now she's acting. She's not just being Julia Roberts, which is what I feel like she's doing.
I respect
There are
that. I
some
respect
people
that.
that are so good. Like, I don't care.
They don't have to do much.
I don't want.
No,
I
get
want
that,
Julia
yeah.
Roberts.
I know.
That's
It's like Morgan
fine.
Freeman, right? You get Morgan Freeman in every Morgan Freeman movie. It's just there
Right.
he is. Here,
Okay.
he's
Yeah, Kevin Costner.
he's
Kevin
doing something.
Costner is the same in every
Oh.
movie, and he's
That's
still
a
so good.
fact.
Right. And you either love him or you
Right.
don't, right? And so it's like
Right.
that. It's not that I hate. It's not that I hate her at all. It's more just she's never been my cup of tea, if you will.
Okay. Well,
but
we
yeah.
now know that a psychiatric evaluation is
Old
that's
snippets.
okay.
Or old snippets.
But
Yeah,
we
not
know that in a alternate universe, Sandy B is Juliana.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a
And
good point.
Snitty is loving that film.
Oh, that Snitty has a poster of My Best Friend's Wedding on the wall.
Yeah, he's loving it. So take some part in that one though.
Right.
Can I say that I love Dermot Mulroney? Like I love him. I think he's a very understated actor. I don't think people really pay attention to a lot of the things he does.
Yes.
But
I loved learning that he's an accomplished cellist who's played on movies. So I was just like that, warmed
Wait,
my
what?
heart. Learning.
He's a real
I
cellist?
love him. Yeah.
Yes, he's played on films
Crazy.
before, plenty of films. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a phenomenal actor. But boy, was he trash in this film.
Mhm.
Oh,
Well, so when I saw him in this film, the only film I remembered him from was Young Guns, and he's really gross and spits.
Yeah,
blood
it's very
and,
different.
very
Yeah.
different.
But
guy.
see, I've seen him in The Family Stone, where he
Mhm.
plays like the
Yeah.
older brother. That's like one of my favorite movies of like all time because come on, the lead actress. I ain't gotta say her name. Y'all know who it is. Come on, now. Look it up if you don't. I'm not saying it. Any whoozle.
Wait, I'm confused. Who you
Isn't
think the
Diane
lead
Keaton?
actress is in that movie?
Right.
Which one?
Y'all don't.
Talking about SJP,
I mean,
or are you
there's
talking
Diane
about
Keaton, there's
exactly? There's Diane
I
Keaton.
thought it was Keaton.
Who would you consider?
It's Keaton. It's Keaton.
because
for
I
me.
didn't know
It's
if you were
Keaton.
talking about Sarah
No,
Not
I
Sarah
was
Sarah
Jessica
Jessica
Parker.
Parker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nah, not Carrie. Nah, not Carrie. No offense to her. Even
It's
though I
Diane.
enjoyed her character in this film because it's such an uptight character, and she's always playing like this loosey goosey person. So I enjoyed that she was a little more uptight in that film. But it's Diane Keaton for me. She was just top. She's the greatest thing in that film. But he was trash in this movie. He was trash in this movie. I was like, what we fighting for? Huh?
Mhm.
This is what we fighting for.
Now
He
his
wants you to not
boss,
go to-
He's
He
cute.
don't want you to
And
go to
he's
his
school
boss
no
was a
more.
good guy. Okay, because his
I thought he
boss
was
came out of
cute.
left
He
field
No,
and
his
was.
boss
said,
was like, "Yo, I
Right.
don't want to do this.
"This
Yeah.
isn't
but I'ma
cool,"
do it."
and I like
Yeah.
that.
But he was like, he needed something else. Like he
He needed
more
to grow
because,
up.
Like, yes, like he needed to grow up. I couldn't find the words. Thank you, Jackie. He needed to grow up because I was just
he
so
was working off
flabbergasted
pretty man privilege, and
by
Yeah.
his
kind
by his character, because as much as Julia Roberts' character is a villain, so is he, because he was putting
Yep.
out them vibes too. Because if you're engaged to somebody, why you dancing with me?
Hmm.
Why are you getting jealous?
why are you
getting
complimenting
jealous?
me in my underwear?
when
Right.
she
You feel me?
lingering.
when she sucked,
But they're the same
when he
person,
sucked
remember?
that ring off her finger, was that
Yeah.
appropriate?
Oh my god!
That
So gross.
divorce immediately. What the hell are you doing?
You don't know where her
Divorce
fingers have
before
been.
the
That's
wedding.
disgusting. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
It's
Well, he
gross.
doesn't
Michael is
care.
why we had
He
COVID.
shows up at the
It's his
wedding the
fault.
next day. Oh, I sucked this off Jules' finger yesterday.
There you go.
Right.
There you go.
Right. It's like,
He didn't even polish it. He just took it to
but
her.
that's what I'm
Spitting
saying
all.
though. As much as like she is the villain, he facilitates the villainy because
Yeah.
the little things that he does throughout it. If you love that girl, you wouldn't do half of this. I don't care if that's your best friend.
Right.
I don't-
He would
I
have
don't
shut it down
care.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
And that's the
Yes.
foresight of 2025
Yeah,
looking at it.
fact.
Because back then I don't see we were looking at some of the reviews. There's nobody really talking about Michael.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
all about Jules
It's all
being the
about
villain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because women are not supposed to, like, especially in a rom-com, that's know,
Mhm.
but it really, he could have
Yeah.
stopped all of that.
He did a lot
He
as well
could've,
because he probably
easily.
felt the same way as her in terms of claim on her
Right.
and liking
Yeah.
the attention and that kind of
Because
thing.
look
Yeah,
how
all
jealous he
that.
got when
George showed up.
George
Yeah,
shows up.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
He got so jealous. Like a
Yeah.
ridiculous
And he
amount.
tells her he was jealous. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
I was
And
like,
she could have told him right then how she felt. I'm sorry.
yeah.
So she thinks she could. And we give Kimmy
then
a
you
pass
don't have a
because she's
movie.
like 20 and young. Facts, bruh. Plus we give
I know,
Kimmy a
you don't
pass
have a
because
movie.
she's like 20 and young. But also, Juliana clocked her in the bathroom. She was like, listen, you knew exactly
Right.
what
She
this
was playing her own game.
And you was
as
playing
well.
your own thing, and like, yeah, I pushed it way too far. Cause come on, I'm not letting Juliana off the
Yeah.
hook. But everybody had a hand to play in this. Everybody facilitated
Right.
something in this film, and that's what I love about it. Nobody's like clean. Nobody's hands are like Juliana's is the dirtiest, but everybody got a little dirt on
well,
their
yeah,
hands.
because somebody's
you know?
sucking on her
Not
fingers.
M.
That's why
Emmett
her hands-
Walsh, okay? M. Emmett was a good man through the whole film. I'm just saying.
What do you guys
Anyway.
think about at the end that we could have had a different ending with John Colbert, I think that's his last name.
Oh, yeah, there was supposed to be a different actor in the
playing
scene.
as a love interest that Jules ends
No.
up with.
No,
They
that
filmed it
would've
and
felt
everything.
forced.
Yeah, it
That
Oh,
would've felt
really?
forced.
They took it
Yeah,
out, yeah.
if you look on YouTube, you can look at the scenes. They cut it because the initial screenings, people were not happy with it. They didn't like it. They
Right.
preferred,
That would have felt forced.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, if it's
It was
somebody
It
you
was
haven't
like
seen
John
through the whole
Corbett
film,
from Sex
it
and the
makes
But
City.
I'm
John
right. If
Corbett.
it wasn't established
Yeah.
somewhere, if it
No.
wasn't
he wasn't. It would have
established
just been a
somewhere,
random person that showed
Oh
up.
yeah,
random
no, that would have
person.
been yeah,
He
yeah.
just
No.
at the
That'd have been
wedding.
terrible.
It was at the wedding.
Yeah.
it
Just at
was
the wedding?
No,
Oh yeah, no.
no.
It would have been just the
No.
scene with Rupert at the end. That would have
Weird.
been the only
But
scene. that
honestly,
this guy
I
would
feel
have
like she doesn't deserve anybody right now. I
Yeah.
feel like
She needs some
I feel like
growing.
she
I
doesn't.
agree.
She's not ready.
Right, I feel
Yeah,
like
for
work
like,
right, she's
on
not ready.
Jules.
She's
Yeah.
not. I'm not saying
I
she
don't
doesn't.
see that she did anything.
Wait.
wrong.
Danielle's
Okay.
whole face
uh-huh.
I
was
do
like,
need to. I
wait
do
a
need to step
second.
in. and tamp this down because we do have another film that we will not be able to do if we don't get to it. So let's do a quick round of ratings. You ladies are absolutely welcome to rate the way you would on your show, but we normally do a 1 through 10 scale that is your scale. You decide what a 10 is, you decide what a 1 is, and we give it like that. This one we could do what we thought then and now. Let's start with Janine so you can see how we do this.
I'm giving this film an 8.5. I love it. Obviously, there's some things that you go on a rewatch and you see character things, but still love it. I think it's great. Just makes me feel bad about myself that at 28 they're all career established, and I felt attacked a little bit there, so it loses points just for my own personal inadequacy.
Danielle, what do you rate My Best Friend's Wedding?
It's a 10 for me. It was a 10 back then. It's a 10 today.
now. Come on
our podcast. It would be. It would buy it. Would buy it again.
Yeah.
Oh, Anna would buy it again.
Yeah, that's.
Well, you have 2 copies, so we already know that's true.
Yeah.
If I saw it for a good price enough, I might buy it again. I'm just saying.
Jackie,
you can always
give
think? Away the other ones if you need.
Right.
You know what I'm
True.
saying? On the show.
There are 4 people that don't have movies. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna go a 6 out of 10. I agree.
Whoa.
Julia Roberts. She's fine.
Yep.
She makes good movies, but and Danielle, it breaks her heart every time I say I am not.
I'm just thinking about breaking your windows and smashing your car.
Doesn't break my heart. Makes
I
me want to
love that
break your
Jackie's
window.
right there with me. That's awesome.
So Danielle should probably be group therapy with Jackie.
I feel like
shock therapy.
I already go to therapy, y'all. There's not enough around.
She's like, this is it. This is who I am. Take it, baby.
Yeah.
All right, all the movie things. What do you give My Best Friend's Wedding?
It's a 9. Yeah, I love it. It really hasn't changed for me. I mean, yeah, there's like things you notice, and but yeah, I love it so much. It's definitely one that I need in my collection. I'm like hoping there's going to be like a steelbook released of it, But yeah, this is one I would own for sure.
All right.
Ryan can stay.
Lala, what do you give My Best Friend's Wedding?
It was an 8.5, but then it made me think of my inadequacies, like me and Janine, was talking about. So it gets an 8 instead. It gets an 8 instead.
It's dropping because of what it's making you feel about yourself.
Man.
I'm just like, wow. Didn't need to go that hard on my life. But it's still a good film. I do 1000% agree with Jackie. Julia Roberts is Julia Roberts in this film. Like, she wasn't anything, because she's a good actress. She knows how to read words. Like, she does. She knows how to interpret words. And I know, listen, and I know I'm really simplifying down what she did, and I don't mean any disrespect to it, but she knows how to interpret writing. She knows how to be what she needs to be, but she didn't do anything extraordinary. But she also played the part that she was supposed to play, and everybody played the part they were supposed to play.
I know, her crying at the end, La. That crying at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It was beautiful. She did amazing. I'm not knocking her for that. But
I would argue that this is out of any other Julia Roberts character that we've really seen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just from the mere fact that she is the bad guy,
right.
Yeah. But she's also the bad guy in a very Julia Roberts way. It's very it's very
I'm bad,
that's why
very
it
me.
Didn't have worked with anybody else.
It wouldn't have at all. Sandy B couldn't do this. Sandy B wouldn't have had this subtlety that Julia Roberts has. But again, it's just
agree to disagree.
I get. I'm sorry.
Don't talk about his queen.
I don't know. I would think it would be an interesting game to play, to be take each of their filmographies and be swap characters.
Julia Roberts
it doesn't work.
Speed.
I don't know.
No.
I don't think so.
No, Julie. Let's do another to me that's
Julia Roberts and Demolition Man.
Let's make that. Me and Jackie will come back to that episode.
There you go.
Okay. Julia Roberts in the proposal couldn't work. Julia Roberts in the proposal wouldn't have worked.
No,
it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah. Sandy and Ryan had great chemistry.
Danielle, I
So,
love Julia Roberts. Listen, I'm a Pretty Woman fan since like the dawn of time.
She's
I
also
dig
doubles
Julia
with the
Roberts.
physical comedy. Julia is not a physical comedy
She's
kind of
not.
Yeah,
person and all
that's
that.
true
She
too.
What do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
she
mean?
could
She
not.
Sandy has a
fell
lot of
back
I mean,
physical.
she
at
fell
the
off the
door
bed.
the
Okay,
other
she fell off the
yeah,
bed.
the fall was
But
good.
if we comparing physical comedy between those two, Sandy B is like
I mean,
up
look at Miss
here, and Julia
Congeniality.
is like right here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
So much physical comedy in that movie, and like it's
So, did
so
we
good.
hear a rating? I don't know if we heard a number.
Oh yeah, I didn't hear. Oh yeah, we heard a rating from
Yeah.
La.
Oh, you gave it
yeah,
8. That's right. You
She gave
dropped
it
it
an
from
8.
8.5 to 8.
Yep.
Okay. I already gave my rating earlier. I said it was a 7, so we
7.
now know that that's done.
did that.
We do need to move on to the holiday.
Yes.
Let's get a quick round of how everybody feels about the holiday. I have actually never seen this film. This was my first
Ooh,
viewing.
Oh.
Anybody else's first
Oh.
time? Because the
Go
rule
first.
is kind of
Right.
first
No.
time viewer
It's
goes
on you,
first.
babe. It's on you.
All right.
Go first.
No.
This is a cute, really, really wonderful, amazing film. I
It's
did
like
not
a cozy
expect.
blanket.
It's very
Yeah,
cozy.
you
That's
know,
a
like
very good way to put it. Kate Winslet is better than anybody ever gives her credit for. The way you
Oh my
can
God.
tell how pathetic Iris is in the beginning of this movie was palpable. Like you can just
Mhm.
see how
Yeah.
pathetic she was,
You've
not
been
because of
there.
what she was
You've
doing,
been
but like
there.
it's
Ugh.
like in her face. It's in what she's doing.
Yeah.
And I love just the complete juxtaposition between this big, beautiful white mansion in LA and this tiny little UK cottage, but yet their lives are so different that they see this as a holiday. They see this as like a break, right?
Yeah.
Jude Law, really just bringing.
Probably the best anyone's ever looked in a film.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was pretty good.
Between
great.
that and the
He looks
talented Mr. Ripley,
Mr. Ripley.
I
Those
can't
are
yeah.
tell.
yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. That and Gattaca. Those are the
No,
3 best movies he's
Gattaca.
ever done.
Yeah.
Is it me or does Jude Law feel like the A-list Paul Bettany? I just feel like they could be
No.
brothers in a film, maybe,
No.
or
After
there's
Paul
a like
the
you can see them going for the
text
same roles. I don't know.
messages
That's just me.
from the
Um,
Johnny Depp trial, I'll never look at him in a good light ever again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know there was anything to look at.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Go look up the text messages that him and Johnny Depp were saying to each other
Exchanged.
about Amber
Yes.
Heard. Yeah. Not, I mean, I don't know that girl, but just to know that that's what he was saying.
I will look that up later.
Dang.
Absolutely.
Side-eye.
But as far as the holiday is concerned, Jack Black, wonderful. The blockbuster scene gave my wife and I a long pause. We literally paused and
So
zoomed
good.
in
Yep.
and started looking. And I was like, man, okay, that is not. Spider-Man 2 was already gone and on the old shelves by now. I don't understand why Sony. I know it's all Sony products. I get it. But like as a movie person and as a weirdo who looks at the back of the film, I was like, whoa, there's a whole line of Spider-Man 2 in 2006. This does not make any sense. But I get why they did it. Yeah, it's a cute film. It was definitely fun. It was one I will probably watch again. So I definitely like it. Let's go with Lala. What did you think of the holiday?
Oh, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yay.
I love this film.
Mhm.
I watch this film all the time. Obsessed. Everybody was perfect, but Kate Winslet is the star of this film to me, even though it's an ensemble in a sense.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
But it's a very cool ensemble because it's like 2 sets of ensembles, like 2 sets of an ensemble in different places. And I find that to be like very smart and like how they weave the story together and how they weave these people together, their connections. That's very smart. But Kate Winslet, I'm literally the monologue that she does when she's on the couch with Miles, I'm going to use that when I audition. That's one of the greatest monologues I've ever heard in my life because Kate Winslet plays that so well. That like desperation and moving on and the grieving, she plays that so well. I don't think I've ever paid attention to it. Like I paid attention to it to love it, but like like I'm fully invested in it. Like because when that came out, I wasn't really in the acting scene as I am now. Like I was just kind of like getting in. So like rewatching it over and over again and like knowing how like that stuff works, I'm like that monologue is amazing, and I'm putting that in my pocket when they like you need a dramatic scene and a comedic scene. That's definitely going to be my dramatic one because it was just amazing. And I think everybody's just great. I just love how everything plays. I love like everybody has their insecurities. Like Jude Law's character is like he's heartbroken over his like wife passing away, which is why he's trying to find some type of life outside of, which is why he drinks like he does. He knows he's not going to find that again. To be surprised to find love, that's amazing. I love that Kate Winslet and Jack Black's character aren't necessarily you can see an attraction, but it's not so immediate that you get
Mhm.
their friendship, but before you get
Yeah.
to anything more. And I just think that's beautiful. And I want to punch everybody in the face that had an issue with Jack Black being like a
A
sexy leading
rom-com
man,
lead.
Right.
No.
I
rom-com
know.
lead.
So it was so great to put him. He was perfect.
And they
in
were
it.
like,
Yeah.
with Kate Winslet, but I'm just like, do you see her character? And
Well,
do
they're
you see
not
the
paired, but it
man?
still
Right.
makes it
She
great.
But
doesn't.
also, do you see the man that she wanted before?
Yeah,
Like she
trash,
doesn't
Jasper.
do outwardly
Jasper.
attractive men. Like no offense to Jasper, but he's always had a funny face.
Rufus Stilwell is an
Well,
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
He has
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
very, and it's not ugly and it's not attractive,
No,
but it's
okay.
like in that pug
It's
territory.
it's
Mhm.
in his eyes.
Yeah.
He looks
Yes.
dead in the eyes. No offense, but like he
Yeah,
just looks
No.
dead.
Yes.
like I said,
I don't know.
it's giving, it's pug coated. You know what I mean? It's pug coated. So
I always just laugh the fact that the two of them were scorned by two people from The Knight's Tale. From A Knight's
Yes.
Yeah, right.
That is funny. Yeah. Mhm.
Facts, that is hilarious. And so like it's just beautiful because like as a person that doesn't feel like conventionally
Yeah, I didn't even
beautiful,
think about that.
you know, yeah, I
So
didn't either.
good.
Like I'm now watching this movie gonna be totally different
Uh,
now. Thanks, Janine, you're the greatest. But as somebody that doesn't feel like conventionally like beautiful, like I'm not like what society would be like, she is gorgeous. You have Jack Black in a space where he's just like this dorky, lovable person was such a great thing to see on screen. And so is Kate Winslet. She's such a dorky, lovable person. Like it's I don't know. I love this film. I can talk about this all day. We don't have the time, but go ahead.
Yeah.
All good. All the movie things. What did you think of The Holiday?
Yeah, I this is another one. Like this is an annual watch for me. Just watched it, over the holiday, obviously. But I mean, literally Hans Zimmer's score is in my head
Oh my
right
God.
now.
Oh my god.
You know,
Beautiful.
that,
Oh my
Yes.
yeah, that little
There's
theme.
actually a really cool moment where Jack
Mhm.
Black is like playing the score on the
Mhm.
couch
Yep.
while he's talking to his ex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
Like
can see
it
his
I mean,
fingers moving with the
Yeah,
piano.
it's I love Iris's theme. Iris's theme is Iris's theme
yes,
because
Yes.
Hans Zimmer
that
did
is
it.
like
It's so beautiful.
Underrated
it
score
is
for him.
so
So
cute,
good.
Yeah.
so perfect. Like for me, just like Julia Roberts in, My Best Friend's Wedding, I love Kate Winslet. I think she is like gorgeous in this movie. I don't know, like I'm so like, you know, zone in on Kate Winslet for some reason in this movie.
Yes.
I love her. She's beautiful.
She has
And
main
yeah,
character
and
energy.
like what's that?
she has main character energy. Like you
Yeah,
said.
no, and yeah, I was just gonna say
Yeah.
like to your
Being
point,
the
yeah, I
sidekick
feel
her
like
own life. Yes.
yeah, I feel like it's really, like I'm always more drawn to her side of the story, and like her
Yeah.
experience,
Yeah.
especially like because there's like all the great, film related stuff that she
Yeah, it's a
experiences
movie about
there,
movies without being
Yeah.
overbearing about it.
Yeah.
There's such a fun wink and nod to
Right.
Yeah, like
filmmaking.
I
old
love the whole
Hollywood and
screenwriter
humor and
thing.
stuff.
And
Yeah.
the trailers and the little trailer
Yeah.
moments.
I know, like
Trailer moments.
the monologue that
Lohan.
Cameron Diaz has is so good. Yeah,
And I
she's like,
love that.
"Shut up."
As an editor, she would edit her own life like that visually, like in her
Yeah.
mind.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that was smart,
You
right?
hear his voice all the time too because you worked with it constantly, so you
Yeah.
constantly hear that voice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, narrating your own life. Yeah.
Yeah, I do love the whole like, I mean, Jude Law is like,
Jude Law.
I'm very straight, but Jude Law is freaking gorgeous.
Right. I'm straight, but Jude makes me wonder.
Man, yeah, like, yeah, I'd probably give him a kiss. I mean, yeah, he's beautiful.
No, for
But-
sure. For sure.
But he's also just very charming. And then also like the fact that he's like this dad of these two adorable
Beautiful
girls,
dad. This
and you get kids with
And
little
he's
British
so
accents.
emotional.
Three
I mean,
Musketeers. That broke
Yeah.
me.
He
Oh
gets
my
so
God.
emotional, and she doesn't
Yeah.
cry, but he cries all the time. Like,
I know.
Yeah, it's so good.
Opposites attract.
Napkin face or napkin head,
Napkin
whatever it is.
head.
Mr.
Yeah.
Napkin Head. Yeah.
Love
Like
it.
that,
And-
you Mr. Napkin Head.
Yeah.
Please. I'm like,
And I love
Yeah.
that like there's these two different, like we talked about like how like, yeah, Jack Black isn't this traditional attractiveness or whatever, but that's not what their relationship is about. But then you have the juxtapose against Cameron Diaz and Jude Law, which is very much this like very physical
Conventionally
thing first and
attractive,
conventional attractiveness,
Yeah.
but then it turns into this other
Yeah.
thing, so
Yeah.
I love that we get all those kind of things. I mean, That's Nancy Myers. I mean,
Yeah.
she's like legend,
Right.
you know.
Right?
Um,
Right.
even though, and I think Janine spoke about this, she does get the Cary Grant thing wrong.
Yes.
Well,
Right.
yes.
I have a whole rant about that.
Yeah,
but-
exactly. So, but I
You guys
love
make
it.
me, like, think I'm a crazy person,
I've
but-
seen it. I've seen this multiple times. Not as much as My Best Friend's Wedding, but this is just like, I mean, it's always gonna be so good to
I can
watch.
quote
Like,
this movie. And
yeah,
I don't quote a lot of movies anymore.
right.
Like my brain just isn't built like that. Like when I was a kid. Like, but I can quote this movie. I love this film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
Before we move to Jackie,
and the
I do
Dustin
have a little-
Hoffman thing too was
Right,
so
just-
fun.
Yes.
Apparently,
That
he
little
just
fact,
walked
so great.
over from
Yeah.
the restaurant he was in and was like, "Can I?
Yeah, and
what
he
are you
Just
guys
wearing
doing?"
what he was
Yeah.
wearing.
Right, and they were like, "You want to be in this movie?
Yeah.
We're going to make a line about you."
So
he's
he
like,
was
"Sure."
like, yeah, I
Um,
love those things too.
There's another little trivia tidbit before I move to Jackie. Ed Burns, who is in this movie as the bad boyfriend in the beginning, was actually supposed to play Michael in My Best Friend's Wedding, but he
They
turned down the
look
role.
like bookends.
So
They look like not. They don't look exactly alike, but they look like bookends. They look like
They're
they
both-
complete each other.
Yeah.
kind of like how Patrick Wilson and Bradley Cooper are both probably going up the same roles because they look a lot alike. These two probably constantly go for up the same roles all the time.
Yeah,
so.
and I think
Ed
he's played a love
Burns
interest
is
with Cameron
not-
Diaz
yeah.
before.
It's
in
like
another
how
Burns
movie.
is
Orange
so
is the
boring.
90s
He is
and
so one note.
Ed Burns?
Yeah.
Could not see him.
Yeah,
in
pretty
any
man
of that.
privilege.
If you
Yeah.
27 dresses, I was
Ugh.
like, what are we looking at here? What are we really
Okay, let's go back to
obsessed
the dresses. Like, what are we?
with? Oh my god! Thank
Especially when you
God.
have James Marsden standing there and you're
Right.
like,
Oh,
No,
yeah.
That's great.
Like,
I don't know, but
That's
Ed Burns always has an air of like, when he acts. It's always
Yes.
an air of like superiority.
yeah,
He
Or
acts, it
douchebag,
really,
right?
or douchebag, which
Yes.
really takes me
Yeah.
out of anything that he does. So I'm
Yep.
just always like, let's break up.
But he
with him
was
so we can get
perfect for this
story.
role for that
yes,
reason.
Yeah.
Right? He was
Yeah,
perfect.
I love
for
to
it.
hate him.
No, for
Yep.
sure.
Jackie, how many times have you seen The Holiday? I thought I heard you saying
Probably seen it
about it
around.
earlier. Go ahead.
So I did see it in the theater. And I watch it about at least once a year. My husband loves rom-coms, so he walked in as I was
Oh, nice.
watching it, and he was doing other things. He's like, "Oh, you're watching The Holiday?" He got really sad that I was watching it without him. So I'm
Can I just say
sure
that's a green flag. That's the greenest flag of a person I've ever seen.
Right.
But
100%.
Yeah.
So I probably will be rewatching it tonight when he comes in for work. So I will say I feel like Cameron Diaz is the weak link in this movie.
He
Yeah.
is.
Like
Absolutely.
everyone is so such a superb actor in this movie, and she is just overacting a little too much. I'm like, if you just reeled it in like half a percent,
Yeah. Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
all we needed.
Yeah.
But I love it. I love how much character development we get from so many characters in a
Mhm.
little over 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there were no characters, even like the douchey boyfriends. Like
Yeah.
you knew them.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
And he's crucial to Miles showing up. So we need
Yeah.
him. He's crucial to the story.
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Also, we needed his comeuppance. Like we needed
Yes.
for her to step into her like gumption, as it were,
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
like,
Be his
you know what,
reason.
we're. She needed to like end that. She needed
Yeah.
to be like, it's done, right? She
Right.
needed to do that, and to
Right.
have that moment was just icing on the cake.
Yeah.
was.
Mhm.
But I love The Holiday. I'll watch it anytime it's
Nice.
on.
Mhm.
I love the very sweet story about the next door neighbor that
Oh, Arthur
had
and
Iris.
Eli
Yeah.
Wallach.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, it's
Am I
just
the only
Julian
one that thought he
Green,
was
like-
going to die when she was going to the door? Am I the only one that felt that?
Yes.
Like
Think
Yeah.
she was going to open the door and he was like, "I'm sorry, Arthur's dead." I was so worried.
Yeah.
You were the only one. You were the
that
only one.
protect
Very different
Iris at
movie.
all costs. Like she's
Yes,
out here
absolutely.
just
I know.
Yeah.
doing the
She's just a
Lord's
bleed-
work.
It's funny because like she's a bleeding heart, and
Yes.
and
Mhm.
Cameron's character covers her, like she protects her.
Yes.
So it's like one needs a little bit of the other, a little bit to like kind of move through life a little bit better, right?
Also-
don't wear your heart on your sleeve, but don't protect it either. Like that.
Don't swap houses with people. Don't do that. I
Yeah.
think that's a
Nobody
bad
does that
idea.
anymore.
Don't do
I mean, they
that.
kind of do Airbnb, but not in that sense.
Yeah.
Like, you ain't driving my
Right.
car.
Yeah.
Creepy,
I'm like, so did you just have a conversation about, by the way, I have this dog you have to watch?
Yeah, they do.
I know.
know,
Like, I mean, oh yeah, don't forget the
I'd have
dog.
been
But
mad.
yes, it is. Like this was like the reason. One of the things that about this is that this is a real thing that was happening, and people they just swap every single
Yeah.
aspect.
Yeah.
No
I
Right.
just
question.
wouldn't trust a stranger with my
Me either.
pets.
Me neither.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
I'd
sure
be
there's
like,
a
Wow.
brother,
verification process.
watch
her
my
brother
dog
was
for
her
2
brother
weeks.
was coming in to check, so you
I
know.
wasn't even sure he was her brother until she finally got the call. I was like, is
Yeah.
he lying?
Yeah.
Is he lying?
Right.
But he didn't even know that she had left. It wasn't like
I
she
know.
was like,
That was
hey,
another
can you
thing.
check,
They let
check
him
in on the
know.
dog?
They
He
give us
was gonna
that she
come over
called him
It was
eventually,
all
and
a
she left a
blessing,
message,
though.
but
Like,
he didn't
it
check
was
his
very
message.
abrupt.
Yeah.
They left
Right.
within like 24 hours, essentially. Like, it
Right.
was very
Yeah.
Yeah,
abrupt.
it was very
It's like,
fast.
by the
But I
way,
will say that
my
Jackie has her
devastatingly
like
handsome brother might
priorities in
stop
line.
by.
Might just stop
Yeah.
So
by.
No,
beware.
right?
Yeah.
Like, throw that out to me real quick. Like, just
Yeah.
To be so rich to buy a plane ticket to the UK tomorrow, I'm
Right.
just
I
saying.
know.
honestly, Iris must be very good at her job, because I was like, what paper you write from that you could just, but she
Do
seems very
it at the
frugal.
last minute, and it's
You
fine.
put
Well,
the
that
last
cottage
minute
is worth like €1 million. Like, that's not a
I'm
little
just
bullshit
like,
cottage.
dang,
So.
girl. But I
Yeah.
will say that Jackie has her priorities in check, because me personally, I was like, wasn't worried about the dog. I was like, you can't drive my car though. Like,
I know.
you
Like,
can't drive my car. But then I was
I
like,
don't know
okay,
how
there's
it
an
happens.
animal
Yeah.
in the
What
house. Like,
how insurance is in the UK, but yeah.
Yeah.
Danielle, what did you think of the holiday?
There's not a Nancy Meyers movie I know that I don't love. She gives us aspiration Pinterest board, you know, like every
Yes.
movie she does, you're visually just it's like you need to watch the movie just to visually take in all the
Mhm.
scenes. Like
Yep.
the kitchens, it's so
Yeah, right.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I know it's silly, but it's like synonymous with any of her movies. And I love The Parent Trap, so like
Mm.
anything she does, I'm like, yes. Let me go rewatch The Parent Trap, because now I'm doing a Nancy Meyers full on rotation right now.
Mhm.
Like Jackie said, I love the relationship between Arthur and Iris. I think the reason that I love this movie is it does what Love Actually wanted to do, which was to have like multiple storylines happening, but it made better sense. And sometimes this movie feels like there was a script for 2 different rom-coms in Nancy Meyers' mind, and she said, I'm
decided
just
to put
gonna
them
make
together.
them one.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she pulls it off again. I think the
Yeah.
only thing I would have loved to see was Iris and what was Cameron Diaz's character's name again?
Amanda.
Amanda
Mhm.
have like more camaraderie, like talking to each other a little bit more,
Mm,
because I
yeah.
thought their relationship, like you were saying, I don't know who said it, but the fact that Cameron Diaz is a little bit harder and she's a little
Yeah.
bit
Mhm.
more of a bleeding heart, like
Vulnerable. Yeah.
yes, being able to kind of have conversations with each other and build that friendship of them kind of
Right.
like it would have been great to see her give advice and vice versa,
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But other than that, absolutely love the vibes of this movie, the script, everything. It's damn near perfect. Yes, I
Yeah.
do agree. Cameron
Mhm.
Diaz was the
A little
weakest
over the
link.
top.
She was
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
overacting quite a bit, and I do
Mhm.
love that Jack Black was the leading man.
Yeah.
Playing
Yeah.
against type. And
Mhm.
I think we need to see more of that, because you know what it is? It's from a female gaze. And this is the
Right.
difference between like a lot of men don't understand that, because his
Mhm.
character was very sexy to us. I have never seen another Jack Black movie where I
Nope.
want to be,
Right.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. Exactly.
you know?
Not a one.
Yeah, he
Not
hasn't
a
played this kind of role like since
He
or
also
before.
says
Like,
this was his best role. He thinks this
Right.
is the best.
Yeah,
yeah.
it
So.
is
Hands
absolutely.
down.
Because
Well, I think it gave him a
melded-
chance to like
it
do some
melded
real
a lot.
acting too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but it
Yeah.
He was
still
able to
melded
stretch
his
himself.
personality
Mhm.
with actual acting. Like it
Mhm.
melded, like
Mhm.
because he was still a little kooky. He still had the music going.
He was still scatting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
yeah.
yeah, he was
He
still
was
doing
still
some Jack Black
like
stuff.
black stuff,
Yeah.
but it was still
Yeah.
rooted in the acting, the drama of it, the romance.
Yeah.
Of it. I loved it. Yeah, he was great.
I think that's a testament to Nancy Meyers'
Mhm.
direction too,
Mhm.
like recognizing those things. I mean, like I'm sure he wanted to like go full Jack Black, and she was like, "Nah,
Well,
that's not
Yeah,
not
reel
a
that back.
Nancy
He said
Meyers movie."
School
Like,
of
Back
Rock.
a little
School of Rock was her reason for making this role. In fact, she wrote this
Yeah.
for him. And so
I love School of Rock too. Yeah,
I
so, yeah.
it's interesting because he is over the top in that movie, but it's because
Yeah.
he's working with kids.
Yeah, exactly.
if you
But
bring him
also
in that same character with adults, he's not
but
that
in
way.
moments in
Right.
School of Rock, you see the drama, you see the acting,
Mhm.
you see the
Yeah, yeah.
seriousness. So that makes
I
sense.
just watched that for the first time too. Don't hate me.
Yeah.
I
It's a
love
cheap-
School of
I love
Rock.
it.
It's so good.
It
Such a
is
good
good.
film. I watch it
Janine-
whenever it's on.
I don't want to leave Janine out at all because we do
Yeah.
need to finalize the movie. Tell me what you think about The Holiday.
Yeah, I absolutely love this movie. I've watched it like 4 times in the last 2 weeks, I think. I do go on a rant about this film because Nancy
Yes.
Myers is an evil genius. Because I'm a classic films person, so all of the classic film stuff in here was just, feeding me, having Eli Wallach in the film, and talking about old Hollywood movies, and that he was teaching her how to have gumption and be more confident through old film heroines. All of that, and then even the story of him feeling like nobody was going to remember him, and then him walking into that room and seeing the reception and the emotion he was feeling in that moment. It was just tears, has me tearing up all the time. But yes, Nancy Myers, I love it, but it drives me nuts because when they throw in there that Cary Grant is from Surrey, I, as a classic films person, know that he is not from Surrey.
Right.
He is from Bristol.
Right.
Bristol takes pride that he is from Bristol.
Yes.
So I'm
And
like, why would they
a quick-
change that?
A simple
Why would
Google
they
search
do
can
that?
tell you that too. Like
Exactly. So I'm like,
Probably
why
to
would
suss
they
out
change
buffs.
this thing? But evil genius comes into play because she knew what she was doing. She knew
Right.
exactly what she was doing because we have Catherine Hahn in this movie for like 5
Right.
minutes of screen
Yes.
time, and we never hear her name. And you know what her name is? Her name
Bristol.
is Bristol.
That's hilarious.
So
I thought that was an interesting moment, right? That was an interesting moment. I'm sitting there
John
looking at
Krasinski
two
with
famous
Taylor, too,
actors
with
who were
Yeah.
nobody at that
Franco,
point,
Lindsay
right?
Lohan.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
good.
just a thing that's in there that's like,
Yes.
what is she doing?
love
She's
that.
driving me crazy.
I love
But
that
I love
Janine.
Also, shout out to the insane physical media that Amanda has.
Oh my
Like-
gosh.
Like, yes,
Yes.
thank you. That's amazing. Yeah.
Yes.
Amanda is
Showcase
definitely
that.
a real student for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes.
So
So
pretty.
absolutely love this film. I think it's perfect. It has all the feels. I love that we get to know all of our characters so well. Yes, Iris is, I always felt very relatable to
No.
Iris.
Yeah.
Like, I've been that
It's very
person who waited till
Ugh.
they got home to break into tears like that. So I was always following her journey, more than any other character, and loved Jack Black as a romantic lead. I loved the organic nature of their relationship. Just love everything about this film.
One last shout out because I'm pretty sure trailer guys have never gotten their due credit, even more so than stunt people. Hal Douglas was the voice of the trailer guy in this film, and of course he did trailers, especially in the era that our guests do their movies from, almost constantly. There were a couple of trailer guys, but he was one of the key guys.
Yes.
And whenever I hear the little skit that the comedian did about Little Tortilla Boy and
Oh yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm like, he's implementing a Hal Douglas style voice,
For sure.
which is great. And the inspiration for our movie guy to some degree and why he does the voice he does. Shout out to Cell Phone Moment Keys. We don't shout him out enough. So.
CWK.
Also, our producer, Hannah, does not get enough shout outs. I'd love to shout out Aina for being an amazing producer and working behind the scenes, making this all possible. So thank you for that.
Ironically, that's how her real voice is like that trailer voice. The one you hear, the one that we hear is not her real voice.
No.
You've got
She always
5
talks.
minutes.
Yes.
So let's rate this, and then we will have to call this another episode in the can, if you will.
Well, real quick,
let's
I know we're running way past
Sure.
time. Can I just say two things about this film real quick? Just 2 things, and I'll be very fast. There are subtle moments in this film that I like from an acting perspective, and one of them is when we meet Miles for the first, not for the first time, but when he meets Iris for the first time, and she has something in her eye, and they're talking, and he's going like this. And we know he's not pulling anything out of her eye. Like, I don't think he's pulling anything out of her eye. But the way that he does it and the way that Kate blinks so naturally. I was like, ugh, disgusted by that. I just love
Yes,
how beautiful
and
that
even
was.
their back and forth don't blow away. It was so cute. Like I
Yeah,
don't think I
like
realized that he said it first and then she said it next.
yes,
Like
he said
yeah,
it next. Like
Yep.
I was disgusted just by that acting. I was like, Kate, if you ain't amazing, girl, just the eye movements. I loved everything about that. And then I will say,
eyeball
even though,
acting.
come on,
Yeah.
eyeball acting was crazy. It was diabolical at the best.
That's
But
day one at Juilliard, by the way.
come on,
Yep.
Yeah.
eyeball acting.
Mhm.
The other thing for me is because Cameron Diaz, the weakest link. Good thing she didn't leave, but it's great. The weakest link, but the fact that we know from the beginning that her character can't cry. One of my favorite scenes of her does cry
Yeah.
in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
Her
she
eyes are
does
so blue in
actually
that moment.
break down in the
Mhm.
car because you know where her trauma stems from her family, and then to see
Yeah.
a
And the
man
Three
with his
Musketeers
family
connection to
and
his
the three
family and
right
Yeah.
her.
and
Yeah.
connected to hers, and then to finally because you don't cry over people you don't care about. So Ed
Mhm.
Burns, she didn't cry over you because you don't matter, sir.
And she
Mhm.
This
tried.
guy
All the
matters.
scenes of her trying to
I was,
cry were
yeah, I was
hilarious.
gonna say
Right?
one of my favorite scenes is when she's trying to cry
To
and she
cry.
just can't
And
do it. Like, yeah.
and I think the reason why Cameron is the weakest
Yeah.
link is because they played her for comedy and they didn't
Mhm.
play her for drama. So when you
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
Kate Winslet crushing it
But
with the
Right.
drama
does
and the
Cameron Diaz do
monologue,
drama? No, she doesn't
Yes,
do drama.
she
Not.
does.
yes, she does.
Yeah,
Show me.
Vanilla
does.
Sky,
Oh yeah.
Mississippi
the daughter
Burning, like
movie where her
it
daughter
was amazing.
dies.
My
Um,
Sister's Keeper.
My Sister's
Yeah,
I'll
my
give you
sister's
Keeper,
that.
keeper.
and even
Like
I would
yeah.
say in her
The
shoes,
Her
Mask.
she
shoes.
does
Yeah.
pretty well.
Being
Yeah.
John Malkovich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so she's done a handful of dramatic roles, but it's not what she's known for. She's
Walk that
known
back,
for
sir.
Give her her
comedies
flowers a little bit. You
and
Walk that
being
back,
more
sir.
loose and wild. I'd say it's just what she's known for. I'm not
I'm
saying
sorry.
Yes.
I
she's
said
never done
burning.
it.
I said burning Minnesota. I meant feeling Minnesota. That movie
Mhm.
she did with
Yeah.
Keanu. That
Feeling. I
was
haven't
What's
seen that
dramatic.
forever.
the movie with the football players? And
Any
Al
Given
Pacino,
Sunday.
Any Given
Any
Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And even, oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
She's
yeah,
actually
She
really
was
I
good in
she was
would
that.
top
say
she was
that
That
top
movie.
notch
she's
in
got
that.
not
just as many dramas
Yeah.
in that
She
can.
did.
we
Yeah.
will have to debate this off of the show because I'm
I
going to start
love
looking.
that.
I'm
Yeah,
going to go
yeah.
through her
I love that.
filmography.
Yeah.
I also wanted to look her up just for her history, so that's interesting. So I will do that.
Yeah.
That said, we do need to rate, so let's go in reverse order. Janine, what do you rate The Holiday?
10. 10
Ooh,
all the way.
10.
Absolutely love this movie.
All right, so that's a would buy again, right? Is what
Yes.
I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Right here.
Danielle.
It was a 10 then and is a 10 today. Would buy it again.
I like it. I like it. How about you, Jackie?
10 as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so just before we get to the other half of the panel, we've only had 5 full 10s on this show in all. So
Oh man.
we're gonna see.
Pressure's
So
on.
Ryan, pressure. What do you rate The Holiday?
It's a 10.
Oh wow. Okay.
This is also
Means
one that I
two.
don't own
Okay.
that I would own that I need to own. So
Okay, so would buy is where you're
yeah,
at.
Yes.
get that.
Okay.
Give me that steelbook. Whoever's in charge. Sony, give it to me.
All right, Lala, it's to you.
It's to me. Can you guess? Huh?
Is it a 10?
It's
The
gonna be a
eyeball
10.
acting.
Eyeball
I mean,
acting
normally she throws
alone.
9.5, so
Eyeball
I'm,
acting.
you know.
Eyeball acting alone is
Over
a
the
10.
top.
Yeah.
You
Nice.
feel
Okay.
me? A 10. I already own it, but I would love it on like a 4K.
Yes, because I just have a
Yeah.
DVD.
Because I already own it,
love
but
to
I
have
would
a
Right.
love it
copy.
like on a
Yeah.
remastered
'Cause I bought it
4K,
when it first
all
came
the
out,
behind
yeah.
the scenes.
Right.
I want to hear
Yes.
Nancy talking during the commentary. I want everything. I want all that.
All right. So now I'm feeling a lot of pressure, more than I
It's
thought
like,
I
it was
would.
a
Interesting.
7. It was great. I enjoyed
Well,
it.
I had numbers running around in my head.
There's only one number, Snitty. There's only one number.
Right.
There's
Should
only
be
one
two
number.
numbers right next to each other.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
only 2 digits. It's the beginning of binary.
And don't reverse them.
Um,
Because no, sir.
Okay. Nancy Myers. Just looking at Nancy Myers alone, the fact that I loved her movies when I was a kid and didn't even know it because I didn't know
Your
she did
significant
Private
other says
Benjamin.
it's a 10. So just so
No.
that
I know she does, but the fact that
Or-
she did Private Benjamin, she did Protocol, she did some early Goldie Hawn stuff that I loved.
yeah, Private Benjamin.
She
Yes.
she's
Oh my
she's
God.
done a lot of
No,
stuff.
facts.
Um,
Nancy Myers is fire.
I immediately upon finishing this movie was like, I'm gonna watch this next year at Christmas because it felt appropriate. I'll give it a 10. I'll give it a 10.
There we go.
Okay,
We
listen,
pushed him
I was
over
about to
the
say,
edge.
listen, I was on
Peer
We got him
pressure.
there, guys.
you feel me? But I was sitting here listening to him talking when he said that like he was gonna watch this next Christmas. I was like, that sounds like a 10.
Right? It does, and it is. But it's interesting because I don't feel this way about a lot of holiday movies most of the time. They either hit or they don't, right? If it's not Elf, I
Right.
don't, usually care. So
Oh,
This
and I just
one and
realized
Last
that PJ Hogan
Holiday,
also
that's
put in.
it for me. Those are
Come
the
on.
2 double
Oh,
features.
yeah.
we did last
Yeah.
holiday actually a couple of years ago.
So
that's,
good.
yeah,
I just
Yeah,
watched
I
it
love
with my
this
family
holiday.
on New Year's Eve.
nice.
I love The Last Holiday. It's one
A
of my
remake of a classic film.
It is.
Yes,
Another
I'll
one.
always,
Interesting.
I'll
Mhm.
always rewatch that one. Can I just say PJ Hogan directed the 2003 Peter Pan film, and I love that film. I didn't know that. I might be
2003
the
one.
only person in history that loves
Maybe.
the
I
2003
think
Peter
so.
Pan
You're not
film.
you're not the only one because there's a lot of girls from that time period that are obsessed with the guy that played Peter Pan. That was like a big crush for a
Oh,
lot
Jeremy
of people.
Supner.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
people were, but I don't know. It was just something about that film that I dig. So yeah, shout out to PJ Hogan. Love it.
That said, this has been episode 14 of season 4 of the Real Study, and we really appreciate our guests, both Danielle and Jackie, for being here
Yes,
from the
thank
No
you, guys.
Late Fees podcast.
You guys are awesome.
Please go follow them on everything, including their podcasts and personals across the board. Don't
Please
forget to
come
follow
back
us as well.
anytime.
And
Yes.
yes, you guys
Thank
are
you.
absolutely welcome.
Thank
at
you
any
so
time.
much for having
Yeah,
us. We
thanks
had a
for
good
having
time.
us.
Yeah,
for being
this
here.
is
I'm
fun.
glad
We love
I
chatting movies.
chose movies that people liked.
Oh yeah.
We have a good time even
Yeah.
when people don't, because
But
Yeah,
we'll,
exactly.
we'll do
we
it for
all,
fun.
but we all feel
Your
that way.
feelings get a
kinda-
little hurt, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
we all feel that
It's
way.
when we're split,
Yeah.
and that does happen, but not often. Like there's
Yeah.
days where we're
Yeah.
split, but yeah.
Yeah. If you could pick some movies that the panel likes, we all be like, cool, all right, sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always
We
the
don't
choice
invite people
no
back
matter
if they
what.
don't pick movies we like. No, I'm kidding.
Exactly.
It gotta be one out of the
No
two.
pressure. No
Right.
pressure.
Yeah, that gotta be one out of the two.
All right. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys have a great evening. We will be doing our makeup Christmas episode next week, and we'll see you then.
Bye.
Night all.
Follow.
Bye.